way that you get to build a character sentence, the way you get to talk about your character is cool to me. And that's because I'm a words guy, so I think it's neat. But the big thing is, like, the system all works off of a d20. When you're rolling, everything has a level that ranges generally from 1 to 10. And then whatever the level is, if you multiply it by 3, that's the number you have to target on the dice. So 7, 8, 9, 10 are impossible immediately because you cannot roll a 21. So you have to use your skills and your assets and things like that to get to that point. Right, so skills are on your character sheet. Assets are going to be the things that you come up with that are going to somehow benefit you. Like we were talking about the idea that if you're not good at positive social stuff, but it's because you have such a bad rep, you're probably going to be good at negative social stuff. So that makes sense as an asset. And then when we talk about other mechanical stuff, everything basically revolves around that. The two areas I really want to make sure we highlight are how you adjust difficulty and then how we handle experience. So as a GM, one of the goals they give you in the game is to set difficulties as being appropriate for anyone, and then let skills adjust for what things people can do. So when we say there's a balance beam and everybody's got to cross it, and Will starts crying because he knows he can't possibly do that because it's so hard for him. But for you guys, it's all normal. That's going to be, the character impact. So all the agency is always supposed to be on you guys. The things we can do with XP, because this is not going to be a long-form game, you can spend 1 XP to re-roll any die roll. If there's a reason you have to roll a die, you can re-roll it with an XP. So the other thing you can do is you can establish a short-term game benefit, which is, again, this is a short-term game. So if you say, like, well, I feel very familiar in these surroundings, I feel like I would know how to navigate my way around it, asset for the rest of the game. If you guys want to spend XP and you've gotten XP, that's going to happen. Okay. The standard mechanism for making the game go from boring and just like something I wrote on paper earlier to being exciting is the GM intrusion. So I say, hey, Chris, isn't it interesting that all of a sudden those walls have started unfolding and you see the plates like moving out of the way and it's happening right in front of you? And you're like, well, what's happening? It's like, hey, I have this for you. And so I give you 2 experience points, and one you keep for yourself and another one you give to another player. So we can move things around. You guys can always just give an experience point to another player on the table out of your pile. So keep in mind, there's no like restrictions there, but the goal is to immediately start incentivizing team play. So when we do GM intrusion, it's always 2 points, goes to everybody. Unless it's a group intrusion, then everybody gets 1 point, everybody's in trouble.
You said for when we have XP, we can use them to re-roll. What else can we use them for?
You can re-roll, you can declare things that are going to be short-term game benefits. Okay. That's really it for what we're doing right now. Okay. Yeah, and the other thing that if you get a couple of them built up and you want to use them is if you want to turn a cipher into an artifact, if you want to make something that's short-term, long-term, you can do that.
Great.
So, yeah, if you guys think of ways you can riff off of what you already have established for your character that you want to have them be more powerful or amp them up for a period of time, it's probably just an XP spend.
Wait, so how many XP does it cost to make one of these long-term?
Probably 2, depending on what it is. If we're talking about like something like it somehow did not get destroyed and you're going to get to use it again, maybe that'd just be a 1. I mean, we'll kind of like play this as we go, but there will definitely be new ciphers coming across the table during the game.
Yeah, I mean, I plan to actually kind of go through these.
Yeah, just like empty your pockets as you go through the game.
Except for maybe the only one I would think would be like really cool to preserve is the Rejuvenator.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but that's the good news is, okay, so pools, recovery rolls. You've got 3 pools. You're going to spend points out of those to try harder, to make effort rolls, right? And you guys are familiar enough with the effort circumstances?
Yeah, it costs 3 minus whatever your edge is.
That's right. And since we're talking about tier 1 characters, you guys don't have an edge higher than 1 in anything. But you have varying edges depending on your characters. So if you spend 3 points out of a pool, you can apply a level of effort, which in other words is an asset or a thing to make the task 1 step easier. And then in addition to that, so that's it. Your pool goes down. You get the effort.
3.
Yeah, or 3 minus edge, right?
Right.
And then you're going to get the mechanical benefit of the asset.
And what does it mean when it says, like it said, your effort starting as 1?
Yeah, that means you can't do it more than once.
Oh, you can't stack them.
Right. So tier 2, tier 3, etc. characters, you can start applying more than 1 level of effort, and it makes things pretty dang easy for you comparatively. Yeah. But yeah, you got to get to that point in the game.
Okay.
Right, and it doesn't matter going over what the extra effort is because none of us can do it.
Oh, if you were going to do extra levels? So it's like it's 3 for level 1, 5 for level 2, I think it's 7 for level 3, and so forth. Yeah. So everybody feel okay on those things?
Yeah. Can I borrow the book for a second on your pad?
Huh?
Can I borrow?
Or you can also borrow the book on my pad if you want.
Great.
I've got everything electronic.
There's one thing I need to look up.
Do you want the player's guide version or do you want the full version?
The player's guide. I just wanted to understand one of my things better.
Yep. Let me grab that for you and see if I even have the player's guide version on here. There you go. Oh, I pulled up a poster map. That's very close. Okay. Juking back and forth, getting this thing going. So in a few minutes here, we'll roll into game and we'll get things rolling. But we're going to do like actual introductions for everybody, and then get into. We got to talk Ambient Realms, and then we'll talk about. No,
I mean, it's up to you.
I'm going to use it.
It's up to you.
I got to do it so that I can practice saying Huntington's because I'm in a disease.
I say it on Thursday. This is the first time I nailed it.
Are you looking for
First time I said
character tier?
It's something under Nano.
On Wednesdays, I'm usually already sloppy drunk
there you
by
go.
the time we
you
start,
so
so
much.
I
No problem.
just
So you can keep that at the
After
table if you guys
after
want.
the first break, I've already had like 3 beers.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
so I'm always like, we got sponsors and that.
click on the thing.
I mean, we are the best at promotion. So there's that. Okay.
So important.
So we got that stuff. I got music playing.
Wait, why do they think 10 feet is equal to 1 meter?
I don't know what's that have to do with
It
this
says
thing.
you scan an area equal to size to a 10-foot, 1 meter cube.
I don't know. Maybe people play with different rules in terms of like
It's
their
just
scale.
weird.
It's a Numenera foot.
Well, 10. I mean, 1 meter.
People's
is
feet
what?
are longer.
About 3 feet.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a typo.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Should be 3 meters. If you want equivalents, apples to apples.
Yeah.
10 foot, 3 meters.
So we got stuff.
Math!
Math is important
Cool.
and fun.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got to remember to not have Aurora creep with this character, though.
A what?
My character in the Infinity Tower games who's like, loves life and is constantly inebriated.
But you know, you gotta play the character you got.
That's not this character.
That's okay.
Yeah, she's like a pretty tragic individual.
This one, yeah. She's not doing well.
So we're gonna, when we're doing this game, we're gonna be like building off of some of the ideas of like there is a group of people that need something and you're out to get it. But we're not gonna be doing town scenes. We are going in media res into danger as we start this out. So that way we can focus on the most important part of Numenera, which is being challenged to not die.
Wait, I'm sorry to be confused, but I just want to be clear. Like,
Sure.
So when it says like scan, it says 2 intellect points.
Yeah.
That means I have to expend 2 intellect points.
Minus edge, yep.
What?
Minus your edge, yep.
Minus my edge times 3.
Minus your edge, nope, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
So if you do scan, if it says it costs
Okay.
2i, then you're spending 2 intellect.
So what happens
But
to
if
the
you
3 we were talking about before?
That's for using effort. It doesn't necessarily apply to all of your abilities. So if you
You
want
still-
to spend effort, that's basically trying harder at a roll.
Okay.
Do you still need to would still need to make a d20 roll though?
No.
To like,
To do that ability that he's speaking of?
yeah, I'm confused about which ability. Like, I would take it onslaught would need a roll because I'm attacking somebody.
You just onslaught.
So they just instantly take that
Yeah,
damage?
you deliver damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like with scan, I could apply extra effort if I wanted to.
You mean to like make it go bigger?
Yeah.
Like to a bigger area? I could see you spending an XP on that if you want to, but the mechanic of is just to scan a particular area.
So I
at a
wouldn't
particular
spend
cost.
effort. then.
Right. You don't really need to.
Well, what would I spend effort on then?
So when I say like, okay, there's a creature attacking you, it's level 5.
Right.
So when it's attacking you, you have to make a speed defense test. 5
Okay.
minutes 15, right? So you say, well, I've got a speed, or I've got no training in speed defense. So you know you have to roll a 15 on a d20. So if you're thinking that doesn't sound great, then you can say, well, I'm going to spend some speed so that I can try to make that test, because if you fail it, you will take damage or an effect. And so then you might want to spend effort, and it would become a 4 or a 12 in terms of difficulty.
All right. Well, I'll ask if that comes up.
Cool. And I guarantee you it will come up.
Oh yeah, you're gonna want to
Yeah.
spend.
That's a thing
That's how you live.
Yeah, I was just asking about rolling on onslaught
Yeah.
because it mentions like getting trained and then specialized to
In
lower the
onslaught?
difficulty.
So most creatures
Does it?
attack on
Or are you
lighter
talking about in
speed.
particular the rules, or are you talking about onslaught?
I'm just talking about in the rules in general.
Yeah. A lot of
You
your
guys have
character
played this
abilities are
before,
just
right?
things you can do, and they don't limit you in how you can do them.
Predation.
Okay.
Same
Well,
system.
Yeah, I played Numenera.
Yeah, I
say
used
more
Mind
creatures
Slice
attack
as
on
an
lighter
example
speed.
of something that
What was
you
that?
Would you
could
say more
become trained
creatures
in.
attack against
But like
hyper
if it just
speed?
works, I don't see the reason
It really
for
depends.
doing
Yeah,
that.
it's
Does
pretty-
that make any
it's
sense?
50-50.
I see what you mean. The
Okay.
two options of Mind
I mean, they
Slice
can
versus
attack
the
on
other.
intellect too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm worried about
They're
speed.
feeling
I
that
have low
actually
speed.
help
Right.
me out.
Oh, are you?
Behind my
With
It's,
rule
it's
stuff?
really just pick one and
Okay,
commit.
I love everybody online.
There talks about creating artifacts. I think the cipher book might mention it too.
Cool.
So there's some people in there that might be trying to help you out.
Thank you guys. I didn't expect. I knew we were going live, but I didn't expect anybody to give me rules help. And I will warn you that I am not good at looking at chat. Thank you guys. I didn't expect. I knew we were going. Okay.
Wait, you're there!
Numenera. That's how it works, guys. Right there. Okay.
So yeah, so it says like if you gain a special
I am right
ability,
now. Time to tabletop. I gotta log in as me.
if you gain a special ability through your type, your focus, or some other aspect of your character, you can choose it in a place of a skill to become trained or specialized. Oh, okay. So there's some special ability, I guess that's called Mind Blast.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So, but it says, for example, if you have a Mind Blast, when it's time to choose a skill to be trained in, you can select your Mind Blast as your skill.
Oh yeah.
That would
okay.
reduce the difficulty every time you used it.
Right.
So, if it like automatically works, I don't see any reason for that, but it doesn't sound like that's the case.
Yeah. What page are you on for the mind blasting?
Page 14 under skills.
Okay. So under skills. Well, I have always just used it as a thing where now you do stuff and it is stuff. But perhaps.
I just like making life harder on myself. You know me. It's like the GM gives me a gift, and I'm like, wait a second, shouldn't this be way harder?
The answer is yes, but you know.
It really always is.
But how many of us actually know what we're doing?
I'm like the weird, like, yeah, force quit. It is hard.
Yeah, and I'm going to apologize one more time to the chat. This is not a window I usually look at while I'm running a game. I try to keep my attention on the table. Oh, you guys can keep this over there if you need it, because I have all the stuff up on the computer. Thank you. So if I don't pay attention to what's in the chat, I'm sorry about that. I am just terrible at all times in life. But on the pro side, it does mean people are going to spam Onslaught, and I think that's going to make for a more enjoyable viewing experience when there's fewer dice rolling on the table.
Okay, so basically you're
just happen.
saying I should just spam Onslaught and it just works.
Yeah, I mean, what would be the point of playing a character with mental powers if you didn't just use mental powers all the time?
I mean, I know I can spam Onslaught because of I don't have to spend points for it.
Yeah.
But hey, if I don't have to roll either.
Yeah, it says you attack a foe.
understand
I guess you
your
could say attack
context
requires a
towards
roll,
spam.
but you know, I mean...
I've not heard the word spam used in this context.
Will, we've always just used Onslaught as a thing that you do to people, right?
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Spam is basically
I'm calling it attack
any sort of magical ability you can use over and over and
Okay.
over and over and over and over and over again without like spending any points.
Okay.
I think it's based upon initially the Monty Python sketch where they just go spam,
Right,
spam.
All right.
sense.
If I actually read the description of what an attack action is, it
Yeah.
clearly says that the thing you are doing in an Onslaught is an attack action.
Oh, it says it. Yeah. So. Yeah, it says they're saying you roll.
Yeah, and to read the action for attack, it clearly says that you roll.
Okay.
And Extenebrae just
fun.
gave us the other descriptor there, which is the enabler versus action. Yeah. So if we read the keywords, which is something I should have thought of, yeah, that totally makes
Okay,
sense.
so then I do roll, and that would make sense why being trained in it, I can get better.
It totally makes sense, and it also helps us explain why it's an action versus an enabler. So if you ever read your abilities and they say they're an enabler, that means you can now do it. If it says it's an action, that means you can take an action to do it. So in other words, if there's an action economy, you have to be conscious of that.
Right, I think scan is an action, but I could be wrong because it takes a while for the
Scan is
PDF.
an action
Yes.
because it takes two.
Yeah.
So we might as well. I mean,
Why not, right?
you
We
don't
are
have to keep
in.
doing this stuff, but now that it's 11, I'll
Yes.
go ahead and I'm gonna get on to.
Please do have fun
to
with
make
that.
sure, and then you guys can keep doing what you're doing. I just want to make sure that everybody knows what's up.
Yeah, if you guys get confused, we'll just
Yeah,
stop
right,
and
okay.
talk about stuff.
All
we're
right,
doing.
so I'm going to introduce somebody today. We're doing some Numenera stuff. Totally sweet Saturday special broadcast day for
Yay.
Numenera. I'd like to introduce, the person that's going to be running this game, Hans, who is
Yes,
definitely
scan is
our
an action.
Infinity Tower
That is a roll.
game master
Hi,
and
guys.
everything.
I'm
So
totally looking stuff
I'm going
up
to
and
put him
posting.
over to you guys, to the live cameras, and we're gonna go play some Numenera, yo.
Yay.
It's on you, my man.
Oh, okay. So now that I'm typing the tweet.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why I'm
okay.
making dolphin clicks over here.
Awkward.
Yeah, so I'm just going to keep tweeting for a second because if you ever see me do anything on the game, this is all I ever do.
Yeah, I'm just Lilo.
All right, a couple more seconds and tweeting done. Okay, so we're playing Numenera.
I think so, yeah.
If you guys are not familiar, which for some reason you would not be, I have no idea why, there's a Numenera 2 Kickstarter going on right now on Kickstarter from Monte Cook Games. I love Numenera. Personally, the thing I really like about it is this is a game set a billion years in the future. If there is something you think could happen, it has happened. There is no possibility that these things have gotten past us, and we can explain things using concepts that we may or may not understand, because who knows what's going on a billion years from now? Scientifically, they say the Earth should not exist at that point. So something has happened.
So suck it, scientists.
I mean, maybe that we go there, or maybe we just say, so clearly somebody had a job and they did it, and things are still going good.
The Earth is flat and Australia is made up.
Yeah, and we're all voting Republican next to the election. That's all totally true. So as we go on with fun things like this, we've got... I'm sorry. We just got too much fun for Numenera, and I've been drinking coffee all morning getting ready for this game. So my apologies to everybody. But Monte Cook Games, I like them. The games are fun to read, and they're fun to hear the descriptions of. I love the character sentences. So when we go around and introduce characters, we've got to do that so you guys can tell your cool stories.
Okay.
But I do want to thank also Ambient Realms, ambientrealms.com. They do our ambient music and effects for games. Today we're going to hear some of their cool sounds like this that are totally not at all creepy and make you feel good about yourself. And those are going to be in the background of our Numenera game. So check out ambientrealms.com because they have sounds and effects for your game, including sci-fi games, not just D&D like I usually do. So goals here would be to introduce who you are, if you are affiliated with anything else we do, just so that people would know why they would watch this channel, other cool things that you like to talk about yourself for doing, and then read your character sentence.
Okay.
You feel equipped, Kat?
Sure.
Let's go for it.
Okay. I'm Kat. I am on like half of these shows.
Yes.
So if you ever watch our channel, you know me. You know me. You've got. Never mind. I'm not going to go into old Greg. At any rate, I am playing Lilith. She is a mechanical nano who howls at the moon. Now, what that sentence means is that my character has an affinity for the Numenera, which is like the sort of scientific devices that people mistake for magic. She knows how to use them, and more than most people do.
And how are you using Howls at the Moon? Because your take is different than
My
people might
take
think.
is a little different. So Howls at the Moon it's basically lycanthropy. But I've decided to give a scientific version of lycanthropy. And Lilith is what I'm terming a binary organism. Now, that is different than a symbiote parasite because neither organism actually lives in the other one. The Lilith is constantly surrounded by a cloud of nanobots, which is the other part of her. So there's Lilith Major, which is the person that interacts with the world. And then there's Lilith Minor, the sentient cloud of nanobots that flies around her. The unfortunate thing about the sentient cloud of nanobots is they require blood to function, and 5 nights out of the month they turn into a biomechanoid monster to really take in protein.
Okay, we talked about this unsettling aura that she has. Is really like
Right.
constantly...
Yeah, so Lilith doesn't eat in a standard way. She has... The cloud of nanobots is basically invisible. They're nano most of the time, but they're always eating. So anytime somebody gets near her, they get this kind of prickling, creepy sensation. And that's because the nanobots are like pulling off little chunks of their flesh and eating them.
That's why we invite
Like
Kat
those
to
little
a game
Japanese
of
fish
Numenera.
that eat your feet.
Yeah,
That's right.
because...
Cool.
And
If you want weird with a capital W, just give us a chance.
I love hard sci-fi. I love being able to do the Arthur C. Clarke thing of having technological explanations for things that would be magic. So, like, if somebody seems creepy, it's because they're actually surrounded by a cloud of nanobots that are eating you.
And this is going to be the time where we got Kat hooked on Monte Cook Games and Cypher System games because they're all like this, right?
You know, I've always loved Monte Cook's work, so I'm really excited to be playing this game.
Yeah.
I've wanted to play your games on Fridays, but Fridays are usually a
you know,
terrible
we all
night
have
for
stuff
me.
we do, right? So it's good.
Yeah. So I'm very excited. I'm excited that there's a mechanic for this sort of character. Like, this is a kind of character that I've tried to shoehorn into other games, and it doesn't quite work. But in this, it's just like, oh yeah, do that.
That's why I love this game. So, hey Will, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
I am playing Kryn.
Okay, wait. You got to talk about who you are.
Oh, I am.
And about
Will.
anything else you do on Time to Tabletop.
I play Infinity Tower on Tuesdays.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and you're going to be out for a couple weeks because you got stuff you're doing.
That is correct.
Cool. So we're going to miss you for a couple weeks, but thanks for coming out today.
Absolutely.
And then anything else cool you want to tell people about you?
No,
Just
there's
little
nothing
fan
cool
show?
about me.
All right, that's fine.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
For those of you at home, though, he does smell like ham and an oil spill.
That is true. That is true.
This is why you should
This
not have
is
an
the ham
internal
side and
chat
this is
for
the
your
oil
game.
side,
Do
so.
not have chats about your game. ever. Okay, so now, additionally, your character sentence is...
I am playing Kryn. He is a swift glaive that hunts with great ability. So he is a martial type with an emphasis on, obviously, speed and tracking people down.
And what's so cool and weird about him?
The way that I imagined that he got his abilities was in his life before. He was out hunting for scrap and somehow got infected with the last surviving remnant of a bioorganism that was used to create super soldiers in a bygone age. And so now he has these weird worms that are crawling through his body that are making his tendons and his synapses fire a lot faster than normal. Sometimes you can even see them crawling around in his skin.
So we're a good pair. Do we want to mention connections right now during the introductions, or do we want to...
I mean, I think we'll just keep rolling for now, but that's a good point. We will have to get in some more layers as we go, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so Michael, we're on you.
Oh, hi. I'm Michael. I'm the Count, lovable, beleaguered con artist in Cat's Blades in the Dark game.
So
Which
that's-
is the most fun I've had running a game in a really long time.
And it's on Adrenochrome.
It's on Adrenochrome, which is the Wednesday night show. We're on a little break from Blades in the Dark right now, but I'm kind of gradually turning into the Blades in the Dark show because I love that game so much, and I love the crew so much. They're always doing things that like shock me, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's roll with it. You guys kill that dude. That's
You're
awesome.
not wrong. That is a good game. Okay, so Michael, so other stuff about you want to talk about?
I'm working on I just have a podcast.
There you go.
With my sister called Bomb Brigade. We're two cinema-loving siblings, and we discuss cinematic bombs and misfires.
Okay.
Nice.
Is there a coming up episode people should be watching for, or a new episode that just dropped?
We just had a new one this Monday on Steven Spielberg's The BFG.
Okay.
A good episode, I think. Not so great a movie.
And how do people find this podcast?
You just go to iTunes, search Bomb Brigade.
Okay.
We're right there.
All right. Cool. So shall we talk about... Oh, no, we got to talk about your character sentence. We almost
Of
forgot about
course, yeah.
this.
So, my character, I am Officer Rhyme. He is a tough glaive who wears a sheen of ice. And I know you mentioned that we're starting in kind of like a small town.
Mm-hmm.
I am the constable or sheriff, law enforcement official of this small town. A no-nonsense, rule-following cop who kind of thinks highly of himself.
Yeah.
And he's a little pompous, a little full of himself. So hopefully I think that'll make him a fun character to play.
Cool. Is this even an official title, or do you just take this upon yourself?
Yeah, I'm just calling myself Officer Rhyme. Yeah, I'm definitely self-appointed.
Right. So you just decided you are the law of this town.
Yes, and I got some kind of town charter full of obscure bylaws that I go around enforcing.
I'm imagining this is like The Walking Dead or something like that. You just told everybody you're in charge.
Mm-hmm. Except for there's I don't know how dangerous this town actually is.
Depends on the day.
Well, I spend my time enforcing curfews and giving out parking tickets and
Breaking up teenagers, kissing
yes.
cars.
Oh yeah, that kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Town's about to get a whole lot more dangerous when
Yeah.
roll in.
Definitely, but I do see myself as someone who's part of that thin icy blue line between law and chaos.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, Chris, you ready?
Yeah, hi, I'm Chris. This is my third time here. The other two times for What Game Did You Bring Me? Once was for Blades in the Dark, and then once was for a game system that I developed. And I love trying new game systems. It's really fun. The other thing I do a lot of is I'm a professional improviser. I manage and direct the CSC Sacramento Theater, where we have comedy, sports, and other really cool shows, including a podcast, a film noir podcast called Jack Jackson. So if you search on iTunes Jack Jackson Noir, you can find that. And today I'm playing this character. That's him. His name is Anek Nikos, or Nick for short. Anek is actually a title. He is a mystical jack who commands mental powers, which means so Jack is like the character is kind of a jack of all trades. He does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then his mental powers right now is a very weak form of telepathy. But as he would get stronger, he would gain more ability. He belongs to a secret group called the Exchange, who are interested in collecting and exchanging knowledge for reasons that most people don't know. They're viewed different ways by different people. Some view them as helpful because they might bring and exchange knowledge. Other people see them as scary because sometimes it seems like they take knowledge without asking. In fact, the Anak, which is the title, are viewed with a little bit of fear because the ones who are more powerful are known for invading people's minds to get knowledge. So that's where he is. Yeah, but he's kind of interesting because compared to the other characters, the Anak are also they're mentally aggressive, but they're actually pretty much pacifists. They will not kill unless it's absolutely necessary. So even though he is trained and can use weapons, he usually fights to disable or to knock unconscious.
Okay, so here's a leading question to get it started in gameplay. So you're a nano. You know how
No, I'm a
Numenera is-
Jack.
I'm sorry, you're a Jack. But
Yeah.
you're mystical, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I keep... We had a previous discussion about nano,
Yeah.
that's why. I'm not totally crazy.
yeah,
So, as a character,
yes.
what's your thought in terms of Numenera? Like, if they're...
Okay, good question. Yeah, because he's mystical. He had a genetic predisposition to being able to connect and sense with either this magic or science or whatever. And then an alien probe came to the outpost he was living in with the Exchange and went around scanning everybody. And if it seemed to like them, it hit them with something that activated their latent genetic powers. So he has a connection to the Numenera that he sees as mystical, scientific. They don't really care. The Exchange is agnostic on that. It's all knowledge, right? So they don't really care whether it's science based or magic based. It's all knowledge to them.
Cool.
So that's where the Jack comes in. He's got a little bit of those type of powers and a little bit of other skills. One of the things that's cool about him is every day he wakes up, he can be trained in a different skill for that day. Until the next day, he can pick another.
Jacks are fun, they're flexible.
Yeah.
So as we're starting this game out, we're dealing with the idea of solving a problem for a small settlement, which is called Salice. And Salice is on the edge of the Steadfast. So the Steadfast is our general central area of Numenera that's safe to live in, more or less. It's understood. And it's dangerously situated because it's right on the edge, which means there are a lot of things that incur from the outside, from beyond, that could be doing something else. But there are just too many good opportunities to pass that. This is an area that is a treasure trove of fallen Numenera, ruins of civilization, and no one really knows what they're going to uncover on a certain day, but it means that there is constantly a market of moving and trading merchandise, so people come in and leave, and it is fast-paced and aggressive. It's a frontier town. But it also means that Salice can become a target. And recently there have been more people who are raiding, and there have been more abhumans or just unknown creatures that are coming to the civilization, to the settlement, and that are appearing instead of trading. They want to try to take it by force. And it seems like this is becoming a growing, looming threat. So as we deal with talking about our character connections, we can talk about how you guys all trust each other. But our protagonist, our point of interest here, is a person named Halleck Isos. And what Halleck is doing is he has found in the area a place they call the Cave of Miracles. It's kind of one of those Numenera legends that's been around the area of Salice for a while, and he has found an easy way to get in and to mine this place for whatever treasures lie within. So for whatever reason, you've all agreed to go with him. So we've got to figure out what those connections are, how you trust each other, why you go with somebody named Halleck, and just go into the Cave of Miracles. So what are you hoping to get out of it? Who do you know? And we'll go reverse order this time. So we'll go Chris first.
Okay, so Neek, on behalf of the Exchange, is hoping, since this place, this Salice is so close to this treasure trove of knowledge, to possibly establish an outpost here. So here he's sent on a mission to check it out and to check out the Cave of Miracles. And he's befriended the constable here because he sees the constable as being the authority here, and he also respects the constable for having a vision that Salice could be a bigger town.
Now, when you say outpost, what does that mean to you? Are you thinking like a fort? Or are you thinking like a kiosk? What are we thinking?
No, just an outpost for the exchange, like a compound that they would maintain to gather what they wanted before they send it back to their main archive.
So you're not necessarily taking over the town yourself?
No.
Okay.
It would just be, so what the exchange does, if it feels as a place where there's a lot of knowledge, they will establish an outpost. But it all eventually feeds back to the central archive, which is hidden.
Okay.
So, he's a very, even though he himself is a pacifist, he's the exchange are very practical. They know that this is not a pacifist world and that people who are fighters are necessary sometimes. The exchange is a very ends justify the means organization. So sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make it all work.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll get to the eggs in a second. And, okay, Michael, how is Rhyme taking all this?
Well, as the official town constable, sole law enforcement officer of the Solis Police Department, Rhyme wants to make sure that the threat to the town is taken care of. He knows these raiders might be targeting the town to get to the Cave of Miracles. He wants to go in there, collect the Numenera, and see it either removed from the area so it's not a threat, or at least properly cataloged and contained so it's not endangering any of his flock.
What are you hoping you're going to find out there?
I mean, I'm not entirely. I'm not like a Numenera searcher. I don't care so much about these magical, mystical artifacts. But I do want to keep the town safe. So anything that could be a potential threat, I gotta take care of it.
Okay. So you're maybe going in there to pacify the cave more than you are looking for a solution to your problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Will, so your character's name is again Curran? Prin. I was very close.
Since being infected with the worms, there's only two things that really, well, more than two things, but the things that matter most to Kryn is the thrill of the hunt and the chase. There's really nothing in between that. So, with his connection to Lilith, who is looking for a way to cure or manage her abilities, and possibly mine, I imagine that I have tagged along as a way to exercise these abilities, a way to get it out, a way to satiate the worms and their desire for me to hunt.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Okay. Lilith.
I mean, he kind of already went into why my character's going there. So,
but what do you want to find out? What are you hoping the Cave of Miracles is?
Basically, I'm really hoping that it's got more information about where the civilization where my character is originally from, which I realize that I didn't go into that story at all. And I don't know if I should right now.
I don't know. You want to have it come up in game? You feel like you want to drop things now?
I'll drop it now.
Cool.
So my character was discovered in the 9th world, but she's not originally from the 9th world. Basically, she was discovered inside of a stasis tube. The organism that they discovered looked like a human infant. And they sort of, like, whoever was deciphering it was hoping that they could use her as a bioweapon. Like, so was supposed to be a glaive. But they found out that she was uncontrollable, and then later on sort of hired him to kill her, which he didn't do.
And are those people alive anymore?
No, well, some of them probably are, but we'll go into, if you want to call what they are alive, I guess.
Okay. Good fun.
Yeah. So yeah, she's looking for a way to control, like, the monster that she occasionally turns into.
All right. Well, because of our tight timeline, we are starting in the middle of the action. So what you found so far is that there is no Cave of Miracles. What? You found a fissure deep within the earth, but this is not a cave. This is some ancient construct. There is a great term used in Numenera so that we can really stay in universe and in weird called synth. Something that's non-natural, probably created by beings. It's smooth, it's slightly warm to the touch, it's durable. Whatever item or substance you want to think of it as being, now we call it synth. And there are energy conduits that are laced throughout it. It looks like they're bundled and twisted, and like they run naturally through the surface of this construct. There are panels that glow and that feel warm to the touch, and there's throughout it like a thrum of power that runs through the building and just kind of peaks at intervals. So this cave is far more than a cave. So going into it, motivations, ideas, you've reached this cave, there's light, it's dim. There is definitely a residual power that's going on throughout this structure. It's definitely not shut down, but everything you've seen so far has been in stasis. It's been in static. It's not moving, it's not doing anything that it's supposed to. And you can see where there are places where walls have been opened up, panels have been removed, things have been taken out. There are a lot of tracks. There are human footprints. There are some sort of other imprints on the ground, depressions of some kind. They don't seem to fit any sort of particular machine you would think of that you can name off the top of your head. There are other signs of movement throughout this building. But you've gone from what seemed like a fissure in the rock that possibly split into this construct, building, whatever this thing is. You found yourself passing from the natural rock into a large chamber. And all around you, you see ancient machines or technologies. This place is ripe for the picking. So, you're there now. There are a lot of things here. It's not totally clear what you can see and what you're going to deal with first, but the room is shaped in kind of an oval shape, kind of an ellipsis. And at the back end, there are probably 9 doors on a quick count. It's hard to say what goes where, and they're kind of interspersed. They go in different directions and kind of different angles. The ceiling has a high vault. I would say right now you're in a chamber that's about 30 feet high. And everything is smooth and rounded with these cords running throughout things, these conduits, these different, let's say cylinders. So you're here, you're in the present. Halleck has started to move to the side. He's looking around. He's a little bit cautious, but he looks a little bit too excited at this point, and he started moving over to the left, and he's touching things at this point.
Okay. So you said there are like footprints around, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. My character spits at one of the footprints and mutters, fucking vultures. And then I'm going to try to like interact with the Numenera that's here to basically, I see the 9 doors. I'm trying to figure out a way to navigate if there's any like sort of map I figure my character has enough knowledge to...
You want to find an interface and try to figure out how to do things.
I want to find an interface and hopefully find out what the layout of this place is, provided that the primitive screw heads haven't totally messed up whatever the system actually is.
Cool. So we're going to go through target numbers in a second, but let's go around the table and find out what everybody wants to do first.
I want to find the most recent tracks and where they go.
Okay, great. And Michael?
I want to listen, see if I can hear any noises of these scavengers in any of the 9 doors up ahead.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I'm going to be in character more.
No, that's fine.
What I want to do, you said that there were the conduits with the power. Since I have the ability to sense magic or numera, I want to see if they all centralize at some point. If they all trace back like a tree to some central trunk.
Okay, great. So for you guys, your target number is 6. You are specialized in Numenera, correct?
I am specialized in Numenera, so that decreases it by 2.
So you're at a 4. So right now that's a 12 to roll. If you want to spend effort on it, you can do that. Chris, same thing. You're at a 6. Are you trained in Numenera or specialized?
Trained.
Okay, so you're at a 5 for your difficulty. You can again spend effort if you want. If you can think of anything else you have that's an asset, just let me know. Will, I'm going to say your difficulty is only 3. You're doing something pretty easy. Do you have any skill that aids you in perception?
Yeah, as a hunter, I have tracker as an ability.
Okay. So tracker is the ability?
Yeah.
So what does the ability do for you?
Basically track.
Well, yeah, thanks for illuminating for me.
Yeah, there's not really a...
Is it a skill of tracking?
Yeah, it comes with the hunts with great ability. It's
okay, I am pulling stuff up.
Yeah.
This is why PDFs are great.
One thing.
Okay, trained, yeah. So you're trained. So you're at a 2. So you're going to roll a 6. Michael, what do you want to do?
I'm just listening at any of these 9 doors, seeing if I can hear any footsteps scraggling around.
Things are far away. I'm going to say for you, your listening challenge is a 5. Do you have perception or any other skills that help?
I do not.
Okay, so it's a 15. If you want to spend intellect on it, you can.
I probably don't.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and just roll for it. It's 15.
Ooh, nope. I see nothing.
All right.
Does my roll
It's
go
all
down
clear, guys. Nobody's here.
because I have edge on intellect?
So the cost of spending
It's gonna go
from your
down.
pool for effort goes down.
Okay, so if I want to spend effort, it would be instead of 3, it would be 2.
Correct. You're going to spend 2 intellect,
All right,
and that
I'll
will decrease
spend.
to 2 of 4.
I'll spend effort
Okay.
to reduce the roll.
So go ahead and do that. Decrease your intellect, and then go ahead and roll. You're rolling for a 12.
Okay. I
16.
turn to Kryn.
Awesome.
How fast are we needing to move? Because I can use my book to try to understand the system a bit better. It'll just take me some time to decipher it.
So you did well on finding the most recent tracks.
Yeah, on the money.
The most recent tracks in this area are coming from a particular corridor. Let's say it's 7 out of 9.
Okay.
And they have gone throughout this room and around. You would estimate that they are a day old.
Day old.
Then we have half an hour to spend if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm also going to use my asset
Uh-huh.
of my Book of Numenera to
Okay.
lower it by yet another
So
level.
you're at a 3 right now, correct?
At a 3,
So you're
which
gonna roll a
means
9.
I'd have to roll a 9.
Cool.
Oh, I don't have my daily skill.
Yep. There you go. Okay.
And I'll also go ahead and spend the 2 intellects to put in the effort.
Okay. Sure. So you're rolling for a 6. Why not right now, right? I
Right.
mean, yeah. Let's make this thing.
I have an
easy.
intellect of 16. I
This
have
is-
I have the 2 points to spare.
Yeah. This is clearly something you want to do. Okay. Cool.
So my difficulty is a 6 now.
Okay.
I rolled a 14, but what the heck?
Hey, you know what? The important thing is you got what you wanted. Okay. So
Yeah.
you were not successful in finding any sounds. Everything is eerily quiet in the chambers. You went from one chamber to the next, listening at each of the the 9 passages. You could not discern any particular one as having sounds at the end. There is sort of a steady thrum throughout there that continues to go
Kind
up
of
and
engine.
down as you're listening. Okay.
Interesting.
So let's go back to Lilith. So Lilith has opened up the panel. Basically, you had to actually physically remove the panel because the existing interface is broken.
Gotcha.
When you were able to do that, you're going in and you're seeing how different things light up and fire. And the crazy thing for you is you can feel the nanobots interacting with this, and you are operating this system in a way that is perhaps the intended fashion.
Great.
But it's almost natural to you. It's not something you're thinking about. The nanobots are firing, they're activating certain things, and you can read the commands that are coming out. Everything just kind of filters into your brain.
Nice.
And as this is going on, you have an understanding of this complex, and it is massive.
Right. So my eyes, I want to like give some creepy effects because why
Go
not? So
for
my eyes are basically like, if you understood binary, you could actually see binary going on in her eyes
You're just
right
like
now.
strobing.
Yeah.
What? What? Weird lady. What are you doing?
We're in. We see a massive complex in front of us.
Okay.
Security systems. Are there security
Oh
systems?
yeah, security systems. Everything that you can tell. The worst part is that right now the system cannot read its own input. So security systems are giving error loops, feedback loops. You're not sure where they're at. The complex, you're reading maybe 8% of it as feeding back accurately.
Right.
But there's massive parts of this you have no idea what's going on.
Massive data breach to the complex. Cannot control weapon system. Weapon system status unknown. Possibly active. What other information can I glean from it?
So at this point, you can see that there are some very residual systems that are online. There's something called processing that's still active. The weapon system is still active. But again, you're getting like weird feedback on everything. So you don't really know what the intended inputs are. You're just getting some basic ideas that things are online. All of these chambers go somewhere, but you can't tell what parts of the complex are actually active anymore, or even intact.
Okay, and I can't really tell what's where in the complex.
You get so many feedback loops. You can tell the way to processing, that is active. You can tell the way to weapons, that's active. You get like occasional pings on control, and you think you know where that is at. That is probably going to be the hardest place for you to find.
Okay, so I know the way to processing weapons and probably control, but not positive on control.
Yeah, it's sparky. It's in there as being a thing, but you have the feeling there are going to be obstacles or unexpected complications because Numenera. Okay.
Right.
And then you found the tracks, you know what to expect, and then over here we've got Neek has found. He made his roll, correct?
Yes.
And so your goal was to figure out if all of these systems go back to a central trunk or to a
Yes.
root. They do not. But you do find a strong correlation to a particular area, so there do seem to be more that go to certain areas than others. So there are probably 2 of these chambers that seem especially important to you out of the 9, where you could say, well, that's going to be something, that's going to be something.
I'm going to share the knowledge with Lilith to see if sharing what she learned about the systems and what I learned indicate what those two chambers might be.
Very cool. If you guys can remember to tell me this later on when I don't remember, you're going to have an asset to navigating to one of those 2 points, or to those 2 points out of all the other points. Okay. You're drawing between the 2 of you the suspicion that one of those sets of relays goes back towards control. So maybe we're going to make that a little bit easier and you're a little bit more certain where control is at this point. And the other being pretty certain where weapons is.
Okay. Lilith definitely wants to go towards control.
Okay.
So I guess that's what I would express.
Okay, so as you are doing this and you're talking about going towards control, here's how a group GM intrusion works. Everybody go ahead and give yourselves one out of those. There's 4. So now you've got something to spend. You know, makes your life a little better. Yeah, so as you are doing this, you hear a wrenching, screeching sound as Halleck pulls something out of a control panel.
Okay.
And it's like bioluminescent or luminescent by itself. It's not really necessarily bio, but he has a cylinder in his hand, and there's like a pulse of blue for a moment, and then like this luminous fluid starts dripping out of the bottom, and he says, "This is definitely going to come in handy." And at the same time that he says that, a orifice opens on the wall. A series of tendrils pick out, grab him, and yank him backwards into the wall.
No!
So,
is he gone? Or
that's a great question. We're going to make a speed roll if there's something you want to do this. This is an initiative roll. If you're training an initiative, the difficulty is 6. If you want to do anything.
I'm currently hooked into this system, and therefore I am also the system, and therefore I am very pro at hurting him.
Okay,
I am going to spend some speed.
Yes.
So I had 12. I have no edge, so I'm spending 3.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so that means me 9.
Oh, wait, aren't you a glaive?
Yes.
You should have a speed edge.
You
should have a speed and might edge.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I do. I see it there.
So you're spending 2.
Okay, so
as much as I like you depleting your points here.
Yeah, good catch. All right, so what does that drop difficulty to?
Okay, so we were at 6, so now you're at 5, so you get a roll of 15.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's all I can do.
There's a lot of other stuff that's going to go on in the game. I mean, he's just one guy, right?
He's a townsman. I got to defend him. Oh, I got an 18.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so you did good. You are running across the room. He's right there. He's being pulled back into this room. What are you going to do? You're right on top of him.
I have this... Well, I want to grab him and try and keep him from being pulled away.
Okay, so you're holding onto him, and then...
I have this ice blade.
Yes.
I'm going to swing that down and cut the tendrils apart.
Okay. The tendrils are level 6. You are trying to cut these, whatever they are made of, composite tendrils apart with a blade of
Ooh, okay.
So...
I think spending is going to be necessary.
Okay, so yeah, you have no additional weapons amps here that you're using. You're just cutting with a sword.
I'm trying to think. Let's see.
I don't think you have any really cool skills that work on that.
I mean thrust, but I don't know if that would work.
You may want to be using that when we get to that. You may want to get that extra damage, right?
Okay, so
that's a thing that you might want to do.
Yeah. It's an edge weapon, yeah.
Right, and you're at a might edge of 1, so it doesn't cost you anything to use, so it's clearly the choice to use it.
Yes.
So, okay, so you've got all that going, and what you need to do is you need to roll to hit this thing. Okay. And it's a might action.
I would like to spend some might to... So I'm going to spend... I got that edge, I spend 2.
Yep.
Makes me a 12.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go.
So you're rolling 15.
All right. Oh, come on. No, did not do it. That's a 6.
Okay, and you slice down, and despite the fact that this is a strong glass blade that's like exceptionally durable, what it can't do is easily penetrate whatever this substance is. When you cut down at it, there's a moment where you see it start to separate, and to you it looks a lot like flesh, but as it happens, like these internal cables pull out and just kind of like wrap around, and the thing is whole again. And it just keeps yanking him backwards. Anyone else going to roll on this?
Help, please.
When he cuts it, I know it didn't do a lot of damage, but my character screams in pain, and it sounds kind of digitized.
Okay.
When she screams.
Yes.
And I am going to... I'm going to Mind Blade one of the 2 of them. I don't know which one.
Okay. All right. So we're going to resolve that after the speed action then. So we'll say that's like the reaction. So are you going to roll on this or you want to let it go?
I rolled a 7.
Okay. So you're just not fast enough. What was your goal? What were you doing?
I was going to run over to where this was happening and figure out why Lilith is screaming too.
Okay. So you're kind of torn at the moment. You're looking at what's going on. Which one do you choose, Lilith or Halleck?
Choosing Lilith.
You go towards Lilith. Lilith. Okay. So
I want to go over towards Lilith, and I took my my daily skill is repairing.
Okay.
And I want to see if there's anything I can do, given that we both understand this stuff, to help her perhaps gain more control and repair the system so that she can get control over these tentacles.
Okay, awesome. So the way I'm reading this is Rhyme goes for Halleck, tries to extend his hand. He's being like yanked back and forth. He cuts down with the sword right at that tentacle, tries to separate it out. Nothing's working. Lilith screams. Everyone else moves back towards Lilith to see what's happening. Halleck gets sucked into the wall.
No!
Michael, because you're such a good player, I'm going to additionally give you that for putting up with all this stuff. Because right now, I'm going to say that the orifice is going to close on your hand if you don't make a speed roll.
Ooh,
and it's going to be bad.
Okay. I gotta spend.
Yeah.
I'm sucking up that speed, but I gotta do it.
Halleck is in the wall, so this is really a question of how many digits you're going to end this game with.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm spending.
Okay.
So it knocks it down to one level?
Yes. Oh, and do you think you would put your shield up if it meant you would drop Halleck's hand? Or something else that you would interpose between you and him? Are you going to hold on to him and keep that hand out? Or are you going to use some other piece of gear to keep that from hitting you? Like even putting your sword in there to give you that extra second.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I wouldn't want to let go of him, but I would try and wedge it open with the sword.
Okay, so it's going to come down to if your sword goes in there and you don't do good on the roll, you're going to have to decide between your sword and your hand.
Ooh. That's a tough one.
You willing to play that? Because it'll give you an asset if you use a sword.
That's true, but I do need that hand.
Yeah. Either way, I'm coming for you, man. Did you make sure you passed one of those? Did you pass one of those XP to somebody else?
Oh, yeah.
Roll
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna put the sword in for the asset.
Okay, so you
If
got
I
the
lose
asset.
sword, at least I can,
So you
if it's
spent-
smashed, I can still sort of use it, maybe, or I can punch people.
Maybe. So you spent for effort.
Mhm.
You're using your asset. Your roll is 4, so you got to roll a 12.
Okay, I do have these things to reroll.
Hey, you
so
know, life could be worse, right?
let's see what happens. Yeah. Ooh, it's a 2.
Okay.
But I'm spending.
All right. So if that can make its way back here, you know what? Yeah, because I like hitting them
Central
out. That's
final.
part of the fun of the game for me. That's good. That's fun.
Okay, come on, come
Oh,
on.
you like
No,
hitting
it's
them
fun.
up.
I do like it.
Oh, you spent reroll.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 4, so...
I mean, yeah, it's going up exponentially. It's up to you if you want to roll again.
Hey, you can just keep spending those.
Hand your sword, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Why not? Last time.
Okay.
If I can't do it now, then the sword is gone.
This
Or at
time
least
for
it's
sure.
smashed. Come on. That's it.
Natural 20.
Oh, man.
Sheen of Ice. So you wear a Sheen of Ice. So the suggestion for your major effect when this happens is the target is covered in ice. It hinders its movement for 1 minute, during which time the difficulty of all tasks it performs is modified by 1 step to its detriment. You are freaked out. You are not expecting to lose control of the situation so quickly at this time. The ice that you normally can wear like armor just spontaneously shoots from your hands and it clogs this orifice, which is slowly closing, but it's like spasming against this ice. You pull your sword free.
Ooh.
You didn't lose a hand.
Ooh.
And you can see Halleck retreating into this orifice. There is like a tracking series of lights as like an illuminated line goes across the surface of the room.
That kind of device he was holding? Does that make
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's him inside the wall. Maybe it's like a tracer. But whatever's going on, you have a feeling it was supposed to move a lot faster. Lilith, you were getting some pretty good control of this system. You thought for that moment, and then that sudden cut, it broke. It wasn't what you were expecting. So it broke some of your control there as your nanobots try to retreat and protect the main organism. And then additionally, the system is now processing slow. Something has slowed the way that things are moving, and it feels uncomfortable. It makes you feel sluggish in your interaction with this machine.
Okay.
So,
Does
that's a lot
my
of stuff in
attempt
2
to
seconds.
repair help her at all?
You're basically at the point where you were beginning the repair, and things are happening. It's a little faster for you than other people, and you command mental powers, right?
I do, but it's telepathy if it's a willing subject.
Yep. So would you try to mentally reach out to a building or a construct?
I'm not sure it can be used with a construct.
Well, here's the really interesting thing. This is seriously about as bioorganic as it is
All right.
constructed.
Sure, I'll make an attempt to
So-
say hello.
Yeah.
Hello, I would like to talk with you.
And then you get a lot of information.
Okay.
Very fast. Just things are running through your brain. There's a lot of stuff going on, but maybe this is also an intended method of access for this machine. So lots of stuff happening right away. Okay, so Karn, you've gone over Karn.
Crin. Like a grin.
Okay, that's probably going to stick. As long as somebody gifts that, I will remember that forever. But so you have gotten to Lilith.
Okay.
She seems physically fine, but you can feel those little machines are buzzing and they seem a little bit more perturbed than usual in your face. Also, Neek is doing something here as well, and he's just said hello to the wall.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Given the connection with the beast, even though she's not transformed, can I try to do can I try to calm the nanobots like I normally do with the beast, or would that be something that I can up here?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so the way that it was described, if I recall in the book, was like I have to spend a full action just trying to calm the nanobots from freaking out, and I have to do it in like 3 successive, if I remember.
Yeah, it's
So-
3 actions.
Okay, yeah, and this is not that bad.
Okay.
You're on like a DEFCON 3, not a DEFCON 1.
Okay.
You're doing good. Those go down, right? So,
Yeah, they do go down.
Okay. All right. So right now things are okay for you, and you're just getting a lot of like, feedback. If you weren't you, maybe you'd get stung a little bit, but you're not. So, yeah, and things are getting a little smoother. But that line is going around the room at a reasonable clip. It's jogging, not running. And then what else do we want to have happen here?
He's actually the only person she's met so far that can approach her without getting stung, because I think that the nanobots don't like the tech that's inside of him.
Is Halleck retrievable, or is he gone?
You have no idea where he is right now. He's somewhere inside of a something, and that orifice is now closing its eyes.
Okay, well, yeah. So I'm not going to go in after him because it's too late.
Do I know what's
All right.
happened with
I'll
him?
take a step back. Yeah.
Great question.
You,
so now,
weird lady.
Yeah, in
But
the
after
next
Halleck.
part of the scene, as the action continues, you have a pretty good idea that he's going to processing.
Right.
Where's he going?
We've taken him to processing.
You mean you and this?
Yes.
Okay. Where's processing?
I know we're processing.
I mean, you can point to it.
Yeah.
You have a physical map of it in your brain, but saying where processing is right now would be like giving someone directions in the city.
I can take you there.
All right.
Do not harm us.
Okay. Is it okay if I step on the floor?
Yes, that is an acceptable behavior to interact with us.
All right. Excellent.
Removing parts of us is bad.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, so Neek, are you ready to make your roll to see if you can repair this thing?
Sure.
Okay, so you've got a strong asset in the fact that Lilith's already engaged with this machine. It's generally a 6. You've got a skill, so you're looking at rolling 12. It's a 4. 14. So, Neek goes around. The fact that you can interact with this thing mentally is making it way easier for you than normal. Your hands know where they're supposed to go. You can see what the different controls are like. You're able to, first off, put the panel back on, and the thing will now work by touch sensing like the way it's supposed to. You have no idea what any of the language is, but the interface is intuitive to you, and you're able to bring a little bit more online. Specifically, you guys have a better idea of where control is. You could walk directly to control. There are definitely systems here that are independent and have independent programming. And a lot of those are autonomous. Let's use automatons, since we're already in the autonomous world here. They're not necessarily machines, but they're not necessarily bioorganisms. But there's things here that have their own jobs and will do them. And they exist throughout the system. They will be our white blood cells. You've got a very strong idea of where weapons is. That's definitely happened. In whatever weapons is to, there's almost a path that you can discern of things that have been removed from the system that are now non-functional.
Oh.
Just like little nibbles out of a big piece of cheese.
Right.
So that's definitely a thing that's happened. And you know where control is and you know where processing is. Processing is currently telling you it's intaking one subject, and processing will begin shortly. You start getting the internet search bar creeping, right? The loading bar is going up.
Why the look? Is anything going on with Halleck?
Yes, he's being processed.
Oh my! Okay, we got to go get him.
Soon he'll be useful.
No. He's already a good, productive member of Celeste society. Doesn't need to be more useful than that.
Well,
finding scavengers.
it might be faster to go to the control room to shut down processing.
What do you think about that?
Why would we want to shut down processing?
You might want to disconnect from your new friend.
Yeah, also your impression is that control doesn't normally interfere with processing. Processing's like it's an immune system.
Oh.
Processing is not controlled by controlled. Processing is a white blood cell. White blood cells are not controlled by the host brain. White blood cells react to the virus. White cells destroy the virus and incorporate the virus into...
Yeah, what she said. So let's go to processing.
There we go.
Lead on.
Okay,
You tell me.
I'll start leading them towards processing.
Okay. All right, and the finger quotes means where are we actually going?
We're actually going to the control room.
Okay.
I would know if she's
You do
not-
figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
They are two very distinct paths in your mind.
You do not seem to be leading us where you said you were going to be leading us. I know this happens to be the way to control.
Yes, my mistake.
Mistake?
Sorry,
Okay, look.
our mistake.
All right, look. I'm
She
official.
seems to be a constable. She seems to be too much part of the system now and not herself.
Ugh, that's a problem. Can she disconnect from the system?
I don't know. Can you disconnect yourself? This
I
time,
look at Kryn. Do you want us to disconnect?
Do you want to? You don't need to.
I'm very comfortable right now.
she's
Oh, by all means, let's not hurt your level of comfort while Halleck is being processed.
The one thing you're finding is you are getting farther from this access point, and it is getting harder to maintain that connection.
Gotcha.
So this is going to become a more difficult action if you need to respond to the system.
Yeah, I feel at some point it's just going to break.
There's a difference,
At which
Kryn.
point,
She's misleading us to the control room. What if she leads you into a weapons turret?
Then I neutralize the weapons turret. If that is the quarry, then I neutralize it.
Okay, well, right now, the quarry is Halleck, and we're saving him from processing.
Are we finding the one who's missing, or are we finding the scavengers?
We're trying to find Halleck.
the one you call Halleck is a dangerous organism who has hurt us.
No, he's a... What's Halleck's job in the town?
He's basically a scavenger. He's really good at scavenging and finding Numenera.
Okay, yeah, he's a scavenger. He finds cool stuff. He found this great conversation piece for the law office that I
He
put
was
up.
helping to find a cure for Lilith. You remember Lilith?
That tube that he took,
Mm-hmm.
would that have anything to do with the cure at all?
It's too hard to tell. At this point, you understand the original functions of the system, but you don't understand how things might go together. And some people are better at that than others. He might have been able to make something out of that.
In general, he brought you to this place because he thought you might have a chance at finding a cure. You owe him a chance to save him.
Lilith takes me to the hunt. Lilith hunts for a cure. We hunt Halleck.
So let's talk about where we're at. So all these tunnels that you've been going through are rounded and smooth. So there's a very small walkway, but the sides are the same as the top. Everything seems very rounded. They are just laced with, again, those thick corded conduits like you saw before. There's this low sound, which I'm sure
Right.
you've picked up from our audio track, that goes throughout. There is always an air of energy around you. Not quite like static, but you can feel the presence all around. These things definitely are conducting. And as you're hunting through these tunnels and you're going deeper into the cave, then I'm not even going to make you guys roll for this. There are definite signs that things have been disturbed. There are footprints. There is some sort of residue, which might be nanomachines that have died out in the air over time or something else, but there is a residue of just fine grayish, blackish powder all across the ground, and it's been disturbed. There have been footprints through it. You see occasional vertical slices like this as well. So things have been moved and churned in this area.
So I'm sure I can probably make an intellect roll to just break off contact if I wanted.
You can break off contact whenever you want. At this point, it's not doing anything back to
Oh,
you.
okay, so I just break off contact.
You break off contact. As you're continuing further into this tunnel, there's occasional interstices where they go to the left and right, and you start finding machines. Most of them are kind of rounded, kind of circular, multi-legged. You see a lot of things that look like blades or pincers or things like that, and they're all just kind of down. They're not doing anything, they're inert.
Let's just hope they stay that way.
Yeah, so if I may, we've broken off contact from the machine.
Good.
it would be a bad idea for any of you to disturb anything here.
Okay.
I'm here to
Keep that in
learn.
mind.
Go silent. We go silent, yeah.
Right. Sneak right into processing. Get Halleck.
Yes. I would imagine that anything that has been in here before to steal has very likely been processed. Would we agree on that?
I don't know, Chris.
Yes?
You're an expert at tracking. Do some of the
Yes, we both agree about that.
do the tracks, any of the tracks lead out? Or they only
Wonderful.
go one way?
Am I rolling anything here?
Let's say it's a 3.
Okay.
So you're going to make a 2, right?
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so a 2, yeah, so that's a little shy of a 2. So, okay, so if that was one. Anyways, long story short, you didn't do it. You see only tracks leading in.
I suspect you're right.
But more importantly, would you really turn around at this point to go see if any of the tracks go back? There's clearly something ahead.
We're usually right about things when we put our minds together.
I don't doubt it.
So you're continuing.
Let's keep going.
These tunnels, they start coming together. You start seeing other passageways that branch into the same passageway you're in. Whereas before it seemed like things were branching out, now they are clearly coming together. The ceiling is going from 30 feet down to 20, 15. It's getting pretty close to your head. And then suddenly it starts to open up again into another like oval shape, another like egg-shaped room here. And as you're doing that, the walls, they start having more light. Everything here has a yellowish, greenish, like the great water bottle on the table, kind of vibrant color to it. And the panels now are much more alive.
Welcome to the Gatorade room.
You walk into this room here, and in addition, there are large tanks of liquid on the left and the right. There is some aeration that happens, so something's bubbling up through them as things go on here. And in the left tank, you catch a glimpse of Halleck's body.
No.
Now, Halleck already has some cybernetic implants at this point. One side of his head is totally shaved, smooth metal. His eye has been replaced. Part of his jaw has been replaced. At some point, he came in contact with a very caustic substance in his life. Apparently, he also has something that was implanted in his chest, since you can clearly see his naked form at this point. And there's something that is around the area of like his pancreas, where all these things seem like they've been additions to his body. His body's just kind of floating in whatever this fluid is for a second, and then suddenly you hear this, and the entire tank is emptied and his body is pulled into the wall. Up ahead, there is a clear synth partition, and you can see it gets spit into the room. He's shot onto a table, and there's this moment where it seems like he's coming awake for just a second. A arm lances down from the ceiling, stabs into his neck, and he falls limp.
No!
Various additional arms start to descend from the ceiling at this point.
Can I rush over to try
Yes,
and
this is now
fight
the
these
time
off?
to begin
Yeah.
rushing to stuff. So we're going to call this a level 5 initiative check here. So if you're trained in initiative, it's going down. Otherwise, it's staying 5. You can spend on it if you want to. It's all about how quick you want to be in that room.
Oof.
What if I want to try to shoot a dart at the thing coming down to disable it?
Totally. Now there is a wall between you and it. It is a
there
clear
is.
synth partition.
Okay.
So there's some sort of barrier there.
So that's not going to work.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got a barrier to interact with. You've got whatever's on the other side of stuff that's going on. It's all up to how fast you want to move.
Is there any way around this barrier?
Great question. Right now, you see a room that funnels like this, and you see the barrier. There might be other ways, but you haven't figured it out in this 1 second.
Okay, so I gotta roll initiative then.
Yeah, pretty much we're rolling initiative.
Alright.
And it sounds like we're rolling for a 15 unless somebody wants
Yeah,
to
I'm not gonna spend on this one.
Now 20.
Oh,
16 for me.
16.
16. Okay. So you guys are doing pretty good here.
Yeah,
but let's talk about hunts with great skill and what happens when you hit that major effect. So your prowess in hunting might make your foe pause, terrified by your ability. That sounds cool, but I think in this case we're going to have to focus on something else. So you're a hunter.
Okay.
What do you do when you need to act first? Like, what is the instinct that comes over you, or how do you respond to an imminent threat?
Pounce.
Pounce. So you are across this room faster than is humanly possible. In that moment, your superhuman abilities to kick in, and you are across the room to this barrier, and what are you doing to it?
I imagine I'm just doing like a drop kick into the synth wall.
So you're not stopping at all, you're going through the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so the difficulty's 6, it's might-based. Are you going to spend anything on it?
I think I will. So, drop drops it down to 11.
And you know what? I'm going to say your asset in this case is your major effect, because it's no good to just say that you got to cross the room first.
Okay.
So 5, 4, so you're rolling a 12.
Okay.
Ouch.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say 1. Do you want to spend it? Okay, spend it.
Here.
Thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
God.
Oh
Rolled
no.
a 1.
Yes! Okay, are you going to keep it or are you going to lose it?
Let's keep it. Let's keep it interesting.
Thank you. You run across the room, you shatter the barrier handily. You are in the room. As you land in the room, you are ready to fight. You know something's going to happen. You can see how there are 2 orb robots that are coming down on him, and all of these arms are attached to them, and they look like they are about to begin processing on him.
Oh no.
And they realize there are 2 subjects for processing.
No. The double process.
You have some stuff they want too. One of them starts coming your way. Awesome. Okay, who else has made this initiative roll? You guys made it?
Yeah.
You made it? You made
I
it?
made it too. I got
You guys
15.
all made it? Everybody made
Yeah.
initiative?
Amazingly.
Awesome. Okay, so we know what happened to you.
Well, I know what I was going to do, but I don't need to do it now.
Yeah, so number 1, the barrier broken. You are in the room. You were about to get processed.
Yay.
Yeah. What else do we want to do here?
Well, I was going to try to use hedge magic to open a little hole in the barrier to let the dart through.
Maybe that's why he was able to kick it through so well.
Maybe
That's
so. I don't
great.
need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot a dart at the globe that's going after Kryn,
Okay, sure.
just to see if that can
Sure.
stop it at all.
This thing is level 5.
All right, so that
I
means
have a card.
Nice.
The fun thing about Numenera is you can get these fun cards where you can walk around with cards and show people all the stuff that's happening to them.
Yeah, I
So
got
you
the
have
glasses.
something like this. It's a here, I'll just hit it to you.
Thank you.
It's a very nice looking card full
Nice.
of it's an orb full of arms.
Probably hold that up to the.
That means I need level
Scooter,
5.
is
I
this
need to
up
roll
to the
15.
thing in
Yeah,
there?
you can see it on your
Hey,
camera.
great. So everybody enjoy.
I don't have any edge. Would this for shooting a dart? Is that a might?
Speed.
A speed.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Might would be my staff. All right, I don't really have much to spend on speed.
We
so-
can always make recovery rolls afterwards.
True. All right, I'll make a roll on the dart. 2.
2.
I'll spend my
Okay, awesome.
because I want to.
Yeah.
Don't
And
want
guys,
you to
don't
process.
forget you have ciphers. There's always cipher stuff you can do. if you
No,
wanna
I
test
rolled
it
a
out.
1.
Oh God.
Did I dart
I'm getting
again?
extra processed now.
We're all getting processed.
Well,
No,
I've got
it's okay. Don't
things
worry.
that I plan to do.
There is an awareness, Lilith, that processing detects intruders.
Yeah.
In the corridor behind you, you hear as something comes online.
Yep.
Awesome. I am loving how this is going so far. Let's continue.
Let
Hey,
me
Michael,
know when I
how's
can
your
do
run?
something.
What-
I'll
what-
probably-
do you want to go
well,
now,
I only
Michael? How do
rolled
you
a
want to do this?
15, so he might
I
be.
got the 16.
You want to go
Yeah,
first? Go ahead.
so-
That
I got
sounds
to at least take care of that thing coming up behind us.
okay.
As for the processing, or actually, maybe I can do both. I want to use one of my Numeneras. I want to use a cipher.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a shrapnel bomb. Shrapnel detonation, so level 4. I was thinking, as I run over to help him fight off those the orbs, I take the shrapnel grenade, hurl it over the shoulder or whatever is behind us.
Awesome. Sounds great. Let's do that. You go ahead and just turn that cipher over. You can just put it in the middle of the table.
All right.
It's just done.
It's a weapon shrapnel
I can-
detonation.
Yes. I prepared an explosion sound for you all.
Oh man.
I pushed the button.
And it better go off
You know
behind
what?
me in,
You know what the
full
problem
way
is?
as
Is
I'm,
that I didn't
running
actually
in front
raise
of
the
it.
sound level.
Oh, okay.
Your shrapnel bomb goes off. Okay, the problem is never the tech. It is always me pushing buttons, just so we're clear. So behind you somewhere, that shrapnel bomb explodes.
And I don't look back.
No, what would be the point? This is an action movie. You threw it over your shoulder. You run forward into the fray. You're going to be ready next round to tangle with all of these great creatures. So that's awesome. Okay.
Okay, I am going to try to quickly access the system.
Okay.
Because I don't care about anybody besides Kryn getting hurt, but Kryn getting hurt I can't have.
Okay.
So what I'm going to try to do is get in there so that I can control processing to stop regarding him as a virus.
Okay, sure. You have access panels all around you as far as you're concerned. You can easily interface with the system. I'm going to save an asset from previous interaction.
Okay.
So you got to roll a 15.
Okay, so I've got the asset.
Yep.
I get to decrease difficulty by 2 for the Numenera.
So we're on 3. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put in the effort,
Cool.
too.
Yep. So intellect effort or intellect. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to spend intellect.
I'm going to spend intellect.
Cool. Sounds great to me.
Okay, so what is my difficulty?
So
at
you're
this
on a
point?
2. You got to roll a 6.
Okay.
I know. I love that part about
Rolled
this.
an 8.
Hey. Don't you know when you can say, I rolled an 8?
I'm so glad that I spent down to that.
Yes,
so
that was
if
great.
I hadn't put in the effort, it would not have happened.
That is when your life feels right. That's when you've done
It
things
makes me feel like
properly.
I've made the right decisions.
You are interacting right now with processing.
Right.
Processing is no longer targeting Kryn. Kryn, the being with all the pokey arms that was looking at you just a second ago, pivots and goes back to dissecting Halleck instead.
Wait.
So I shout, Kryn, get out of there. I can't control these things forever.
Well, now it's my turn in the round.
Okay.
So both of these robots begin processing Halleck.
No.
They are fast. And the first thing they do is they release a spray which removes all of his organic matter components. And they begin removing his inorganic components. In the same time that it would take you to make this roll to see if you can act on Numenera, they are just actively removing his body parts and storing them. There are apparently bins or siphons or some sort of areas to the sides because they just throw his body parts to the side. And in this round, his entire body has been processed. So.
Okay.
Halleck is neutralized.
Yeah. Miss Weird, can they put him back together again?
Hey, by the way, you know who is not exempt from processing at this point? Rhyme.
That's true.
So, hey, Rhyme. Do you want to make a defense roll to see if you're going to get processed?
I think I need to. Might defense, is that
Speed.
would that work?
Speed.
Oh, speed, okay.
I'm feeling well, you know what? If you're going to stand there and take it, you can make it a might defense.
All
If you're
right.
trying to run away, it's a speed defense.
No, Officer Rhyme, don't run.
Okay.
I feel like it would have to have been a different action for each person to stop it.
Yeah, you know what? Let's say that we're going through initiative. So you guys are all in this initiative. We don't need to roll this again or anything like that. So you guys can all take action. We'll do the same. We'll go around in this sort of awkward loop-de-loop that we've got.
Right.
So, Kryn, robots aren't going after you.
Okay.
They do seem to be about to disassemble Rhyme. How do you feel about that?
Rhyme is a companion.
Yes, true.
We can't have that. How far away are these robots from me?
You can touch them
Okay, so this will be melee then.
if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna stick one of them.
Sure. So they're
Knife.
level 5. Okay, and you're going to be using a knife as a light weapon?
Yeah, light weapon.
So it's a 4. Anything further?
No. So that's a difficulty of 4.
Yep, so you got to roll a 12.
Okay. 15.
15. So you are sticking it, you reach up and you stab into the robot, and you have kind of a general idea of the shape of it, so you can intuit what might be dangerous. And as you stab into it, you're able to make one of the arms disconnect, and it comes down on the ground. And there's, a little bit of fluid that leaks out of the robot. You've done a little bit of damage to it. 2 points of damage. Okay, not too bad. So you've done that. I think we went next to Nick.
Yeah, if it's going after Rhyme, I'm going to enter the room and try to hit it with my staff.
Sure, sounds great. Might action, difficulty's 5 right now. Anything that's going to bring that down?
No, because I only have defense on it. So, but I'll spend some effort.
Okay.
So, because I don't want you to be dissected.
So you don't have a might edge right now, right?
No, I only have intellect edge.
Okay, cool. So you're spending 3 points.
Right.
You're getting 1 level lower, so you're rolling a 12. Wow.
15.
That's easier when it stops. A 15, you totally hit it.
It does
Okay.
4 points of damage.
Yep, so you strike across the robot, and again, a couple more of these arms kind of pop off, and it's floating awkwardly to the side like this. So yeah, that's good. All right, so Ryan, the robot is about to attack you.
Okay, so can I attack it, or
Yes,
is it
definitely.
my
This is your
defense?
round to attack it.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna swing on it too. Use the ice blade,
Yes.
and let's see. What do I need to hit it?
Right now, you need a 15 to hit it.
Okay, I'm gonna spend the 2.
Yep.
So it's going down to a 10 right now?
12. Gotta roll a 12.
Okay, all right. So hopefully I can do that.
Yep.
An 18. Ooh.
Nice. So that gives you an additional 2 points of damage. So you're going to do 6 damage to this creature.
Yeah.
It is a lot taken apart by this point. There are just, you start seeing some electrical wires or some sort of conduits inside of it sparking, and there's almost like a hard light leak. There's some sort of luminescent thing just dripping down as things go. It's probably going to be less effective now, but it still does want to disassemble.
Oh, and can I use that thrust on it?
Yeah, definitely. So that's an extra point of damage on top of that. It's pretty badly wrecked at this point. You had thrust and also didn't use it?
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
right.
I
Hey,
assume we
You
can
gotta
only do
remember-
one action per round.
Always be
you can only
thrusting.
do 1 action per round. You could be moving around or things like that, but
That's
yeah,
right.
basically you get an action.
Because I want to, after I hit the one, I want to keep as much distance from the other one.
Okay, yeah,
I
sure.
don't want to be Oh, here's the other one. Now it's going to dissect me.
Okay, that sounds good. So Lilith, what are we going to do?
Okay, so I think we established I can only, like, sort of tell it to not attack one person at a time.
Yeah,
Or-
right now it seemed like what you were able to do was you sent a signal last round. You just haven't sent this signal. Do you want to do something this round with it?
Yeah, I'll try to send the signal to stop attacking all of them if that's possible, but I don't know if it is.
It sounds like the sort of thing that was going to require a new roll because of the fact that you're not sure how the system's going to behave that way.
Right.
You're rewriting its programming. Okay,
Okay.
so we were at 5 before, and you're trained, so we were at 3, so you got to roll a 9.
Okay, I've got to roll a 9.
Yep.
I am actually going to go ahead and do the effort, too.
Okay, cool.
Again.
And pretty soon we can talk about recovery rolls and how those work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those only take one action, so that's not
Using the
bad.
biological device.
Oh, is it? Okay, see if it says it's an action or if it says it's an enabler.
It doesn't say anything one way or the other. It just
'Cause-
says one pool of the user's choice is restored by a number of points equal to the cipher's level.
Okay, so let's save it for next action, because I think you normally have to spend an action for it.
Okay, cool.
So right now you're going to be rolling a 6 to reprogram the thing to not eat any of you anymore.
Right.
Got it. Ta-da.
Handily did it.
It goes, oh, right. And the system kind of like deactivates and the robots float off. And the one that's now been chopped into pieces is like awkwardly listing as it goes towards its station and docks in the wall. And at this point, processing seems much less active.
Phew.
So when we talk about a recovery roll takes, the first one is an action. You see you have this recovery roll trigger like chart. So if you're using one of your recovery rolls, the first one takes an action. Second one takes, I think it's 10 minutes and so forth. You guys can read the sheet. But when you do that, you're going to roll a d6 and you're going to add your tier. Michael being tough as his descriptor gets an additional +1. If you had a cipher that would allow you to restore pools, that does not use any of your recovery rolls. That's just a cipher.
Ooh, so I rolled an 8, so that
Okay.
gives me 8 to put back.
Yeah, you get to put 8 points back where you like.
Whoa, nice.
I know, right? That's your max recovery roll,
Yeah.
right? That's awesome.
So we can all do this right now?
You can all do this. You just have to check off your
The
one action
action,
box and then write down what you got.
Oh, I'm
So,
back at
like,
4.
the next time you do the recovery, it would take 10.
10 minutes,
Instead.
right?
I'll just go ahead and spend this.
Yeah, if you want to, or I mean, you could use the one now and
So
save the
it's-
big one for later in case you need more.
Your
I mean, it's all
roll-
up to you what you like.
Well, I need like I'm down by 8 points right now.
So you're feeling like it makes sense to you right now. It's all up to you.
or I should be down. By
It's roll
6
plus tier?
points.
It's roll plus tier, and in Michael's case,
Oh.
add 1.
That's right. I accidentally took away 3. I'm down by 6 points right now.
Okay,
But still, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and.
cool. That's no problem. You know what? You can just flip it on the table.
Oh,
That way I don't have to take it back right now. We'll just flip it face down, and then we'll know you how to use Cypher. Cool. All right, so we're doing good. You are in processing. Halleck is processed.
I want to examine the piece that got broken off.
Okay, yeah, you have
Just to
robot
see
arms
what I
on the
can
ground.
learn about it.
Sure, this is a great rule now, or a great rule. Now, the question is, are you looking for Numenera, or do you just want to understand the systems better? What do you want to have?
I mean, both, really.
Yeah, so if you want to make a basic roll for you, now you're trained in Numenera, right?
Yes.
So you need to roll a 6. You have a level 2 difficulty skill here. You're potentially going to pick up some new ciphers.
Okay. So, wait. What am I rolling?
You're just going to roll
No, what's my
6 or
target?
higher.
6 higher?
Yeah, 6, yeah, level 2.
2.
2 on the die?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not super great, but basically the system seems to you like some sort of, it's not alive, it's not machinery, it's alive machinery, it's something like that. And you're pretty sure you could process this, but you're a little bit hesitant to break any of these pieces off because there are a lot of sharp edges.
And also might trigger something.
You have seen that happen. So right now to you, it seems like you could probably...
Would the repairing
process
give
this.
me an asset?
Well, we used one skill on this already because you're using your Numenera skill, right?
Yeah. Oh, you can't.
I don't think it's really purposeful to use 2 skills.
Okay.
Do you have anything else that's an asset to taking apart Numenera?
No. Well, no. Well, scan maybe, but
Yeah, so there's 2 things you could do here. You can try again, which means you have to apply effort to the roll, no matter what. Or you could have somebody else do the
I'm
same.
gonna try again because I really want to try to get some cipher.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to spend the effort for
Right.
the intellect like you would normally do.
Which is not too bad because it's edge. So
Right, but the good news is now because you spent effort, you have to roll a 3.
okay.
So there are
How
only a
many
couple
cipher-
things that don't
10.
succeed.
How many ciphers can his character carry at a time?
2.
2, but I might use one and,
Ah,
or give it up to
gotcha.
somebody.
Yeah, because right now we have 2 random draw ciphers that are going to come off the table. Okay, you have a large device. So a big part of this arm, the mounting thing that came off this This is perfect. The mounting unit that holds this arm onto the body of the orb robot is apparently a datasphere siphon. And the datasphere is like the internet for the ninth world. There is everything out there in knowledge in the universe that it can be connected to and tapped into and share things. It's really elusive for most people because you have to have the proper equipment to deal with it. You have a datasphere siphon. Ooh, that's something that's happened. Okay, additionally, you found something that you think you could probably wear on your body, and it would probably be a density controller, where if you were to strike a solid creature or object, you could dramatically increase your weight and lean into the blow for some extra damage. Ooh. So that seems like something that you would probably have to put onto your body for it to work properly.
So I have too many ciphers right now.
Yes, so you probably want to get rid of those because I have this awesome chart I can roll on if you're you'll roll that you can roll on if you're carrying too many ciphers where things happen to you.
I just used a cipher, so I can take one.
Yeah,
I also used one.
Okay, great. So you're a fighter.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'll give you the density controller.
Cool, thank you.
And I'll actually use one of my ciphers so that I can carry them both. Because I'll use my rejuvenator to restore my intellect.
Okay, awesome. Did you already make a recovery roll where you want to retcon that, or what do you want to do there?
Well, I already did but then I used some more, so I might as well use it so I can, versus giving it away.
I mean, unless you want to pass it off to Kat, it's all up to you.
Well, I'm going to use it because
No, go ahead and use it. I'm not demanding you give me ciphers. I'm just.
So I'm going to use that and restore my intellect.
Okay, cool. And you can just flip it on the table.
Oh, that's right.
Sounds great. Awesome. So everybody's doing great. We've got,
Can I also look for ciphers?
Yeah, totally. Why not? I mean, you could go up to that orb robot and take it apart if you want to.
Yeah.
It's already damaged.
Yeah.
Right.
So what do I just...
For you being specialized in Numenera, you need to roll a 3.
Okay.
Feel free to spend effort if you don't want to roll at all.
Like...
The number 3 on the die.
Oh, the number 3 on the die.
You have a difficulty 1 pass.
Hey, I rolled a 5.
Yeah!
All right, life is good. Are you going to go up to the orb robot, or are you going to take apart the walls? What do you want to do?
No, I'll go up to something that's already damaged.
The
but
damaged orb robot?
Basically assuring the system first before I do anything that I am going to investigate damaged processing robot.
What I grenaded.
It works. You have no further interactions from the system that are negative.
Okay.
You go up to the damaged robot. You begin investigating into it. Mm-hmm. I really like just shuffling up the cipher deck and then pulling things randomly because the items you get are weird. You find a object that is some sort of... You're not sure what originally the purpose of this is. You think this is the thing that lets the orb robot levitate. Okay. So the next thing that comes off its dock is going to fall down and break. But you have repurposed it to become a lightning wall projector.
Ooh.
That just sounds awesome.
Right.
Period. Okay, another thing, you have no idea what this organ inside of this creature originally was, but you're pretty sure you have made it into a sonic detonation.
Okay.
So... Feel free to do something with having too many ciphers.
Okay.
You can leave a cipher on the ground.
But that one counts as 2.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Okay, guys, this is game spoiling, but I have to talk about this.
We don't have to talk about it at all.
You are going to use it during this game, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, never mind. We're going to let this one go. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm very excited.
No, go ahead.
So it is definitely the sonic detonator part and the lightning wall projector part.
Yes, and you can roll for them before you decide what you want to have. And Chris, don't forget to roll for that new cipher if it's got a level.
Oh yeah,
that needs to be rolled.
Oh right.
You go for the density controller?
No, I didn't. So
okay, I'll just go for it. It's a 4. Also,
2 + 2.
I would like to go behind us into that hallway and see whatever was creeping up on us from behind.
Oh yeah.
Sword drawn, by the way, in case.
Yep. You find a small, mechanical device. It looks like it was like a rounded robot. It has very long legs that have suddenly extended from it, kind of like spider-like. It's in pieces all over the room, and there are little barbs that are all throughout this corridor at the interstices where this intersection where this happened. So you have blown up the wall and created shrapnel everywhere.
Okay, so it's going to be a little dangerous to walk on?
You probably don't want to walk directly on that spot if you don't have to.
Ooh, all right. Let's try and... Or actually, is there a way forward from the processing room, or is that a closed chamber?
That was the end of this particular direction, so you didn't see anything immediately, but who knows what you might find.
Yeah, we got to go back.
So I'm going to go ahead and spend this 1 cipher
Okay.
for doing remote viewer. This device splits into 2 parts. For 1 hour, the glass screen on one part shows everything going on in the vicinity of the other part of this device, regardless of the distance between the 2 parts.
Oh, wow. All right. So you have an hour of remote viewing.
I have an hour of
Thank you.
remote
This one I
viewing.
want to read because I want to make sure I know what to think about. So,
It was a level 2 for
yeah.
what it's
So you're going to
worth.
leave this here, and then you'll be carrying around the other part, basically, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm reading this?
Yeah, so I think it's just like hovering in front of me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't count as me having that cipher anymore, right?
No, I mean, you activate it. You are using the cipher. But yeah, apparently this thing is meant to interface with nano devices because you're able to like track this location picture in a picture style as you walk around normally.
So it's basically letting me know, if anything, I'm sort of using it as because this is how my character understands things, being a binary organism. I'm almost using it like a moon that's like sort of going around us, like doing a patrol, so that if somebody or something kind of starts sneaking up on us, I'll know about it.
Okay, because the way I was reading it was it's like one part stays here, and then you
Yeah.
can walk around with the other part. So this would be like having like a closed circuit camera.
Oh, it stays here.
That's what I'm thinking this means. Yeah, I think because I think you basically have like closed circuit TV.
Oh, okay.
So you'll know what's going on in processing.
That's fine.
Okay.
It lets me know if somebody else is getting... So I basically set it up in such a way that I can see if somebody else gets processed.
Right. You will know, and you'll be able to enjoy if somebody else gets processed.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'll be able to take better notes this time.
Yeah.
Last time I
Would
was...
it be worthwhile to find out how to turn off processing so nobody else gets?
Why would I want to do that?
Because we don't want anybody to be dissected.
Why?
Would you want to be dissected?
No, I agree. But no.
Error,
What?
Norman Courtney.
Yes, sister. If they did something that deserved processing, we both agree that they should be processed.
Well, Halleck didn't do anything to deserve process.
Well, did he?
He harmed the main
did-
organism.
He did
Uh,
rip apart the panel.
He was having fun with like a glow stick. That's not a capital offense.
That's true.
If he was better, he would have avoided.
Okay, well,
Thanks, Pat.
can we not let's not besmirch the dead. Oh, poor Halleck.
This is Barbara.
Hey, Ray, real quick, so that you know, in about 11 minutes, we're going to take a lunch break.
Okay.
So everybody gets a chance to eat something real fast.
He is not dead. He is processed.
Okay, well, I'll put that on his tombstone.
Why? He's better now.
Ugh.
All right.
Let's just keep your metaphysical ideas to yourself, if you don't mind, please. Anyway,
So you're in processing.
there's no way out of here.
Yep, Rhymes investigated
This
back
is
to the
the-
corridor he went to.
Yeah, this is like a closed area. Let's head back.
I think we should go to control.
I agree
Yeah.
that we should go to control.
Let's do that.
My sister also agrees that we should go to control.
Okay, well, I'm glad you two are in agreement.
So you're in processing. Are you going to backtrack? Anything further you want to do in processing?
I was thinking about maybe looking in the bins where like all the cybernetic parts may
I think you should make a general perception check. I'm going to put this way up there at difficulty 5, though, because there's stuff. Just tell me what the actual number you get is, though.
I
Holy
rolled a
crap.
17.
Oh, so you got the 5th. Okay, so there are bins. There are several chutes or things here that need to be opened where they're closed by a little bit of force, not too much. But there are things that are meant to process things. You also have the inclination to believe there is a large passageway, something that any of you could easily fit through, that is behind one of these doors.
Oh.
Found a passage, a tunnel.
Shall we head down?
Don't know where it goes. We can.
Well, you're the scout. Scout ahead.
I'm in.
You're going in.
Yeah.
You open up the passageway. It is clean, cold, again, more rounded than square. And as you're walking along it, there are tracing lights that go along the floor and more of those long, ropey conduits. Is anybody else going in with him, or is this a all Kryn action?
My dress turns blue, and I say, be careful.
Yes. Maybe we should tie a rope to you in case we need to pull you back.
Well, I'll follow as well.
All right.
That's actually not something I've described about my character. But,
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
My character wears a really simple shift dress and some boots, and that's like pretty much it for her with clothing. But the dress, you've noticed, occasionally changes colors.
Like that movie from so long ago.
Yeah, like when
Inside
she,
Out.
like when she was
Oh.
when she was screaming in pain, it turned like bright red. For instance.
Oh, charming.
Yeah.
The disgust is purple.
And when she showed concern just now, it turned light blue.
So you're in the passageway.
But she's
Okay,
not
so
going with
along
you.
with like these lights or anything, are there any like tracks or anything, or
You mean like, do you see more impressions on the
yeah,
ground and more footprints?
has anything like biped or quadruped come through here?
This passageway is sterile.
This
see
might not be
nothing on the
intended
floor.
for people, but for those robots only, or to pass along parts.
That's mine now.
There's lights.
I will go behind the constable.
Okay.
Luckily, she shouldn't process him anymore.
Yes.
So they're all in the wall
I think
now.
this is just a passageway to send the parts to the next area.
Very good. How's the light? What's the light situation, Ida?
Very low, but enough where you can see where you want to go.
All right, I'll pop a flashlight. I mean, do I have one? I got the Explorer's
Sure,
pack.
why not? Yeah, you've
Yeah.
got a glow globe.
You got
It's
a-
basically like you have like a glowing orb that emits, I would say, a considerable amount of light. Not so dull that you can't see, but not so bright that it hurts your eyes. And you can just like hold it in the air or leave it there on the wall if you need to.
Yeah, I'll just kind of hold it up as we're heading along.
Sure.
Are you having difficulty seeing?
Well, that's why I got this handy little glow globe.
Oh. I use hedge magic to like basically turn on little lights on all the nanobots. So all of a sudden she's like surrounded with like a glowing halo.
Yeah.
If at any point I can help.
Yep. There's probably like it's dissipating energy as heat instead of doing it as some sort of waste fuel, so that works.
Well, weird lady, I appreciate it.
I do have a name. It is
Oh.
Lilith.
Okay, remind me.
Lilith Minor will be much less likely to be hostile to you if you address me by my name. Well,
All right.
us by our names.
Great.
Oh.
Yes,
There's a
I
lot
know
of
that we're
chatter
both
behind
in-
you as things are going on like
I
this.
know we're both important people.
I'll keep
But
that
you
in
are
mind.
finding
Oh.
branching passages ahead. You have about 6 options at this point.
All right, 6 passageways.
I will use my sensing abilities to see where the greatest concentration of Numenera is coming from. The 6 passages.
Okay, sure. Go
Can
for
I
it.
assist him?
Yeah, you guys can do this
I don't
however
know
you
how
want.
assisting works. but I know
That's going to give him an asset at this point. So right now he's going to make whatever his difficulty is 1 easier. So you're sensing, and how's that
It
going?
doesn't say there's a difficulty. It just
Okay.
says it's an innate ability.
Then is it an action or enabler? That's what we got
I
to
think
figure
it's
out.
an enabler. How do I turn this on?
Is this under your jack?
No.
It's
It's
actually
part of mystical.
Mystical.
it's under
Okay, got it.
mystical, and I can look that up right now because I have it printed out.
Cool. I got it too. So we're good.
Sense magic. It doesn't say that it's an action or an enabler.
I'm going to say it's a skill for you right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's something. It says you must study an object or location closely for a minute. You've been here for that. You know what? It doesn't say it's a skill. It doesn't say it's an enabler. I'm going to say it's something you can do.
Okay.
Which means you can both do it.
All right.
Which means for both of you, you are pretty certain the way to go is passage 5 out of 6, which seems to be going upward and towards your right-hand side.
Let's just go upward to the right. To the Broca area.
My sister wants to know if we're sure we want to just keep exploring these things without accessing the control room first.
Good point.
Can she find where we are?
You think if you continue in this line, though, you are probably headed towards control.
Oh, never mind. This line actually
That worked out
leads
well.
towards control.
Yeah,
Ah.
I'm sorry. I should have gotten that
Perfect.
sooner. One of the things you're seeing now as you continue on through this and you see some of these branching passageways is they are not all intact. Some of them look like they've been physically compressed and crushed. Others just end. And in a couple where they end in what looks like solid rock. But you continue on this way, and this is a smooth, steady, not terribly physically distressing uphill climb. There are no other robots or independent creatures in these hallways. This is just a hall. Every once in a while, one of those tracing lights goes very fast past you. Most of the time, they just kind of like sluggishly move, and they seem to be a little bit ahead of you at all times. You continue your upwards journey, and as you go, at one point you hit a port, where this is clearly an exit, and you have the strong suspicion that beyond this port is the control room.
I'm going to scan through the port.
Okay, what are you looking for?
Well, scan. It's general. It tells me like everything.
Mm-hmm. It's got a range or an area, right?
Yeah, 10 feet. So I'm gonna basically to 10 feet, right at the edge of the port. It's imagine a 10-foot cube.
Sure.
So if there's any weird traps or horrible things on the other side.
You have the strong suspicion that where other things that are, like, let's say, more concerned with the functioning of the greater organism and so forth, this is the central control room. This is where things are going to be important. There are things in here, it tells you, it always reveals its level. There are definitely high-level systems in this room. In other words, things that are going to require high difficulty to interact with. Everything seems to be made of this same bio-organic synth and living matter mix that you see up ahead.
Particularly, I'm looking for immediate dangers of opening the port and going in.
Seems safe.
Defense
Seems like that's
mechanism.
going to be a safe thing, to open the door and to go in.
Gentlemen, I should warn all of you, doing the thing that Halleck did that caused him to become processed, the likelihood of that increases exponentially when you're inside of her brain.
Noted. We'll be careful, just hands to ourselves.
Reminds me, I can erase knowing anything about Halleck because he's very dead.
I would open the port.
You're opening the port.
Sure.
You go for the control, and the port iris is open. And we are going to hold there. We're
Whoa.
going to come back from our lunch break. Prepare for more Numenera soon. We got to eat a little something. We got to give everybody a chance to decompress, use the facilities. But we'll be back shortly to conclude this story.
I can't remember your character.
So we're back. We're ready to conclude with our Numenera game. We're having a lot of fun so far. And, I mean, it's an easy system. If you've never run the game, you might as well, because you need no dice. I didn't point that out before. I don't roll anything ever in this entire game. You guys have all the action, all the agency, so there's no random dying. Everything happened because I planned it that way, or you guys planned it that way. And, I mean, I think that's cool in the system. I mean, there's no real need for me to roll dice and for you to have some sort of random arbitrary number come up. So, personally, loving it, having fun with that. If you haven't checked out Numenera before, remember they have a Kickstarter that's going on right now. It is getting up there. It's a lot of fun. You can definitely take part. And what else do we want to talk about? We're using Arknight for sounds, which I should do any second now. So you can hear there's all sorts of cool sounds for your game that you can have. Go to, did I say Arknight? I say Arknight. Ambient Realms does our sounds. Arknight does the flat plastic minis we're not using right now. But go to ambientrealms.com and you can look up sound effects for your game. And I'm going to attempt to say that they support Huntington's, Disease Society of America, and Autism Speaks. The key is to lean into it really hard and not try to do anything else. You just got to go for that, and maybe you'll be okay. So, if you want to check them out, a lot of free sounds you can use for your game. This is a sci-fi game. I have never touched the sound pack for sci-fi until this morning. I found all sorts of cool stuff. We'll see how much of that stuff we get into soon. So, real quick, we'll just go Chris's side around the table real fast, just so we can say hi and remind you who they are. Let's not do character reintroductions right now. Let's just say who you are and anything you want to pitch so that people know who you are.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm good with the pitching.
Okay, Michael.
Michael, Officer Rhyme.
Good stuff, okay.
Well, I have nothing to pitch.
It's okay, you better pitch some stuff. Otherwise, there was no point.
I'm Pat. Watch our other shows. There is Infinity Tower on Tuesday, which both Will and I are in. New special guest Marvin, who is awesome. Anybody that's watched Adrenochrome has seen Marvin a lot. Marvin is awesome. He is a great player, and I have a little crush on him. Not really.
Okay, that's cool.
Because I'm a lesbian. But whatever. Hey, and next Wednesday on Adrenochrome, we are hopefully going to be playing a game sort of based off Blade Runner. Thursdays is New Tripper, which is New Trippers. There's not just one. There are many.
They're all
Many
yes.
trips.
Might kill them all off. Who knows?
Hey, there you go. Maybe that's what's going to happen.
So there, I plugged all of the other
You
shows.
plugged all this stuff. Thank you. If you hadn't done it, I would have done it for you, but I appreciate that. Check us out at timetotabletop.com. Follow us on Twitch. Hashtag Numenera. Numenera 2, especially right now. That's a very popular hashtag, so go for that. I could say Infinity Tower, but I actually don't have to for once.
What's curiosity, what's new and different in Numenera 2 versus Numenera original?
Oh, okay. Well, we could talk about that. So Numenera 1 was a really popular Kickstarter. They did a whole bunch of books talking about the setting and so forth. Numenera 2, the big thing they're doing is they're taking the existing rule set that's in the core book. They are making small revisions to it, but not removing anything that's important, so you can still play all of your existing products, but they're making a companion book. I think the main book is called Discovery, and the secondary book is called Destiny. I may have switched those book names, and I don't really want to look it up right now, so apologies if I did. But the new book is going to be about crafting and about building settlements. So if you want to know like how to build a wall, what kind of things you can make things out of, actually we play Predation on Friday nights every other week, and Michael in the game took the time to create a dino spa, like a dino day spa, because it's a game where you have dinosaurs. It's a lot to talk about all at once.
It's the Lizard Lounge.
Yeah.
I recorded a radio spot for it as well, a little advertisement, and businesses was a booming.
Right.
Some bad things happened to it though.
But it's kind of fun being able to name a part of the game and say it's yours and build something on it, and it gives you more than just like your character component to worry about. So that's the cool thing that Numenera 2 is coming up with, is it's giving those of us who like to craft and make stuff an excuse to have rules to build the things we want, and a reason you might go out there and find stuff. So for example, they're introducing new types, and the same way that Halleck in this game was a seeker and was going out looking for stuff. In the new rule set, he might have been called a delve, which is somebody who specifically goes out and like takes apart existing Numenera to repurpose them and gain new stuff to build stuff with. So there's like an additional component mechanic that's going to come in for that.
Great.
Yeah, and there's some new really cool books that are going to come out as part of that Kickstarter, including a very long campaign, which is something Numenera has not previously had. So some cool stuff to look at if you guys are interested in general, all people. So when we finished our pre-lunch break part of the session, we have delved into the Cave of Miracles. We have learned this is not a cave, and it's perhaps miraculous, but we haven't seen any evidence of that so far. Your companion Halleck, who is a seeker, managed to pull the wrong cord or the wrong cylinder out of a piece of Numenera and found himself taken to processing, or he was processed. His organic body seems to have been dissolved. His remaining cybernetic implants seem to have been processed and taken somewhere else. You've climbed through what seems to be a machine tunnel, and you found your way to Control. At this point, Lilith is not currently interfacing with the organism that you are all inside, whatever this biomechanical structure is, but it seems clear that she can. Neek just opened the portal and it kind of irised out, so we're not sure exactly what lays inside of Control, but we're there, we're ready. Everybody kind of feeling on point, focused. So as we go into the control room, it's a large circular layout to the room, and the ceiling comes up, and again, it's got a really like egg-shaped, like it comes up to a very gentle peak as we go into this room. The center of the room is a tall column. You can imagine that there's got to be something that goes to the center, because you can see a top part and a bottom part, like two caps, and it looks like there's some sort of interface that goes to each one, but there's nothing in the center of the column. So there are all around the room panels. And most of these panels have screens, and most of these screens are trying to show one or another view. Are we walking into the room?
Yeah.
As you walk into the room, the panels begin to illuminate, the lights come on, and all of these panels seem to be different views, which you might infer are part of this organism machine construct. Because you see, right now, you can see processing. And it looks like the same view of processing that you have on your cipher, which is showing you what's back in processing right now, your remote viewer. At the same time that's going on, you see other locations. You can see that chamber that you walked through earlier. You see some other places as you're coming in.
Okay. Does it look like there are any people on any of these screens?
Great question. Why don't you make a really quick perception check? We're going to say this is just a difficulty 2 for anybody who wants to make it. So right now it's a 6. For Will, it's a 1, which is a 3.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 5.
I also rolled.
They're everywhere.
You guys all failed that level 2 check. That's awesome. I have never seen that happen before. That's so great.
Nothing here.
Universal fail.
There are a lot of views to process. And where you're standing at in the room, this room is probably about 60 feet on the radius. So as you're going around and you're looking at it, it's just there's so many screens. And most of them are black or showing what you're assuming is like a disconnected view. Because most of this place seems like it's not operational. As you're continuing and you're looking around though, one of the things you do find is the central part of the room, the column starts to fill, just like a glass pouring, like water pouring into a glass. It starts filling with like a hard yellow orange light, and eventually the column is full. And there's an outline, like a silhouette of a humanoid inside. It's very blocky, kind of like an imperfect sketch drawing here. And the silhouette kind of rotates and looks back around. It has lots of points of movement, so it's freely articulating inside of the column.
Okay.
I'm going to try to talk to it telepathically.
Sure.
Let's say, hello, do you have a name?
There is no designation given to this unit. You are in control.
What is your purpose?
This is the main control room. I am the intelligence in charge of control.
What is the purpose of the entire unit of which you are in control?
And it's going. Authentication required.
I am super control.
This is all just happening telepathically.
Sure, yeah. So you guys aren't seeing any of this?
I am oversight.
Okay.
Sent to check on. This unit seems to have been malfunctioning.
Authentication not recognized.
That's fair. So I've tried to talk to the unit to find out its purpose, but it is not recognizing authentication. Oh! I have a data sphere. The user can learn the answer to one question.
Awesome. What's the level of it?
It is a level 4.
Okay. You're going for it?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and pass that over.
Alright, why not, right?
And in fact, just go ahead and flip it.
Okay.
So you've, and what did it look like originally? What was the thing? What did the data sphere link look like?
It looks like...
Yeah, we didn't try that.
Yeah, what kind of like category was it?
What do you mean? Large device.
Large device. So
Yeah.
this was the mount that you
Yeah.
had attached to that machine before. So you're like holding this mount, and are you connecting with it mentally, or are you like plugging it into a wall socket? How do you use it?
I will do both. I'll connect
Okay.
it to the wall socket and then try to channel my mental energy through my crystal through it into the system.
Okay, and you're connecting with the data sphere. And there's that moment where you can feel like things are going and they're flowing, and you know that you can find something, and you find an authentication.
Okay.
And you authenticate with some very long string of, some of them are numbers, some of them are symbols, some of them are words, and you can feel, things are properly being passed through into the object.
Great.
And then the interface, the intelligence turns back to you, and you can hear its mental connection as it says, authentication accepted. Your clearance level is insufficient, or operations beyond basic.
I would like you to confirm the purpose of this overall unit.
Basic authentication, answer to request. This unit is designed for defense.
Of what?
Authentication, basic authentication, request answer, the Empire.
I'll relay this information back to the group. So this whole thing was built as a defense unit of something called the Empire. I don't think it knows that this Empire probably does not exist anymore.
I should think not, but certainly not in my jurisdiction.
The Empire has always existed and will always exist.
Okay. Can we turn it off?
I don't know. I will ask the unit. Have you been able to... When was the last time you were able to establish connection back to the Empire?
Processing. Record not found.
If connection to the Empire is impossible to establish, is the procedure to shut down?
Authentication not recognized for this request.
I don't know. I've tried to trick it into shutting down.
Okay, can can I be accessing it in a different way during all this? Because that is what my character would have been doing.
Yeah, sure. That's totally fine. So this is tough. We're going for difficulty 7 if you're going for full access to this machine.
Okay.
So we're going to say whatever else you get is going to give you some partial level, like Chris got in a level 4. So you got a 7. You're trained in Numenera, specialized in Numenera.
So that drops
So we're
it.
at 5. Anything else on top of that I'm missing?
So 5, that is a 15, right?
Yep.
I'll go ahead and put in the effort.
Okay, intellect effort, yep. So it's going to be a 4 right now. And then while you go ahead and compose that roll,
15, so that's...
so now
that
you're down to a
counts
4,
me
which is a
too.
12, yep?
So that's a 12.
Yep. So Kryn, what are you doing?
I'm going to be trying to make sense of the screens, just kind of study them to see if I can find anything else out.
Okay.
I was thinking of doing the same thing, maybe.
Sure, no problem, but you both failed to roll last time, so you have to apply a level of effort in order to do it. So you have to spend intellect effort.
Yeah, I'll spend
So whatever the pool changes there, and then you're still rolling against a difficulty of 6, except for Willow's rolling a 3, which he still managed to fail last time. It's okay.
Ooh, I think I did all right. I got a 16.
Ooh, I got a 4.
Nice. You made it. I like the hairs on your chin. That's great. Okay, and 16 is pretty good too, right? So you guys are doing fine. You're getting a much better idea of the cameras. You're starting to recognize a lot of these locations are probably just not existent or compromised, or the cameras are broken or whatever else. The one that stands out to both of you is you see several views down what seems to be a long cylindrical room. And at the end, like if you can imagine like a cap on a big cylinder, there are at least 5 people that you can see. And there are a series of small, like, it's almost like somebody's built shacks out of the paneling and so forth that are in these different rooms. It doesn't seem like they've hurt the walls or the surface of this room, but there's people there, and you can see some of them are cooking like a meal, and there's a couple of people where it looks like they're fashioning something out of the paneling that they found, like they're trying to like plane it down and clean it up so they can use it for tools. So there's at least 5 people here in this area.
Would I recognize any of these as like locals to Solis?
Yeah, you don't recognize any of them as locals. These look like people who have been here for some time, and I'm going to find out how Cat's roll went. Did you roll
Okay,
yet?
I haven't rolled yet. I've
Let's
been
go
waiting.
for it. Yeah,
So,
I know. I just want to give everybody a chance to talk about it.
let's see. How long is he interacting with the thing, by the way?
It's mental. I'm going to say that might have taken like 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, so not enough to really be whipping out my book and looking at it. Okay.
Oh, no. I mean, if you want to, you can do this however you want. It's
well,
just
I mean,
a matter
that
of like...
takes half an hour.
Yeah. Are you trying to do that, or do you not want to do that? It's all up to you how much time you want to spend here.
Guys, do you mind if I spend the time to actually make this thing work properly?
Oh, it would be good to see if we can shut it down.
Okay.
What you do best.
Please.
All right, then I am going to take the 30
Okay,
minutes.
so you got
So
4...
try to not make it attack you in the meantime.
No, we are friends.
Okay.
Okay, so trained, specialized, asset from the book, and spent effort, right?
Yeah,
So you're at 3, so you got to roll a 9.
9. Okay. And I roll an 18.
Okay, so that's going pretty well. That is almost a minor effect. So in 30 minutes, you're going to have what you need.
Okay, cool. Well, that's lucky because the minor effect with me is terrify the crap out of something. So.
Yeah, we'd probably have to work something different in this case, or maybe not. We'd find out. Okay, so this is all going on. You guys are doing your thing. So how's that all going?
I'm going to ask another question.
Sure.
I assume you guys did you tell me what you saw on the screen?
Yeah, we point out
Okay.
these people.
I was going to say, are you aware of these people indicated on the one screen?
Processing. Authentication not received for units to be inside of the facility.
Oh. Well, what have you done?
No, but they've been there a while, you said, so I'm wondering why.
Sending
Oh.
counter agents.
Oh no.
Oops.
So
What have you
am I
done?
interacting with this thing too,
Oh
or
yeah,
am I?
you are in the data stream
Okay,
currently
I'm
making
in the
things
data
happen.
stream. I'm going
I figured
to.
they've been there for a while, but they didn't care about it.
Well.
I don't necessarily. I'm of two minds. I don't necessarily want these people to die, being as that I'm a people, kind of. But on the other hand, I don't want to interfere with the machine doing what it does. So I'm going to try to set off alarms in the area of where those people are to like scare them into moving.
The only downside is you spent 30 minutes to do this. So
Oh,
you
that's
are
right. So-
currently interfacing
Never
with this
mind.
thing.
Okay,
No, it's
so-
cool. And I mean, that's probably what's going on in your brain, right? You're thinking, well, can I get in? Can I help them? I don't know if I should. And while you're going through it, you realize you haven't penetrated the outer layer of this data structure.
Right. So I've not gotten
Yeah,
to it yet.
I was actually
Lilith Miner is totally occupied at this
Right.
point.
when I realized. what
So
I've
I remind them, please don't
Oh
do
yeah.
anything.
Hey Chris, by the way, here, have a team intrusion for the fact that I just made you have a small settlement destroyed. So you can give one of those XP to somebody else and you keep one for yourself.
All right. You've got one, so one of you guys need one. Here you go.
Oh, Will.
Okay.
Oh wait, you have it already?
Oh, you have one, so you take
Okay,
one.
I'll take
Yeah,
one.
yeah. You guys got this work.
Yeah.
I'm going to say those people are harmless. Perhaps you can just eject them instead of process them.
Standard procedure for organic units is to process.
Well, I tried.
Do we know that this is going on? Like,
I'll tell you. I
Okay.
made a horrible
My
mistake.
my dress
you
turns
certainly have.
my dress turns dark red, and I'm like, stop interacting.
Yeah, the real question is how many minutes does it take
Yeah,
to
can
get
we
something
see
done?
like people figure out like where in the complex this
Well, I'm
settlement is?
telling them to stop
Yeah,
interacting.
yeah. No, you now have a terrifying thing happening because as you were starting to pay attention, you can see that one of the bays somewhere inside of this organism has just unleashed 5 drones. Some sort of organism that is now like, you see it crawling down one of those access pipes you were in earlier, and it's like going across the floor, and there are 4 other things behind it like this. And you can basically watch it on the screens as it goes towards wherever these settlers are.
Oh, we got to get to that settlement.
No offense, but I cannot help you right now. What I'm doing until I'm actually in there, I'd basically be giving myself a lobotomy. But thanks for interacting with the thing I told you to not interact with.
Okay, well, do you know the way? You seem to have some idea of how things work.
I
in here.
don't. I only know the way to here and to the weapon system.
You guys are watching screens, you're seeing things go one by one here. So if somebody was maybe like a tracker and they wanted to make a roll to see if they could figure out a track based on this.
Look at the time, dude.
That's exactly how real life works. Okay, so you want to roll on that?
Sure.
Okay, so you're looking at a level 5 task, which you're trained in. So now it's a level 4. You want to spend anything?
No,
Go for it.
because I rolled 7.
Well, okay, so now you're spending something. That's cool.
11.
So you failed twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess you guys are just going to watch those people get eaten.
Oh my god, I can't.
Turn off the screen.
You can make the same.
Oh, yeah,
if
that'll
you want to
solve-
make the same
that'll
roll, you
solve
can
it.
make the same roll. You just don't have the advantages that that Will's character
Is
does.
this intellect?
Yeah, this is intellect based.
Control shot.
Which I'm like super bad at, but hey, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can spend effort on it.
left in my pool.
Well, you can always make a recovery roll whenever you want, including right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Probably
spend.
should.
Okay, I'm gonna spend the
Go ahead and do it if you want.
3 intellect. You spend.
Yep,
If
you
you don't have an
spend
edge?
3 if you don't have an edge.
Right. So I have 2 left.
Okay, awesome.
Come
No
on.
chance of you getting a lobotomy from a machine.
Ooh, I got a 5. So no.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay, so Will, remember if you want to make the roll again, you can spend a level of effort, which is required.
Okay.
And you know what? I didn't say this earlier, so we're not going to start using this rule now, but it was supposed to cost you 1 extra point of whatever your pool was, but I did not remember that until this point, and we've already done several of those.
Okay.
So we're not changing the rules mid-game.
I'm so confused at this point.
So when you have to try a roll again that you failed,
We're trying to
you
figure out
have to
where these
apply
people
effort.
are, and we're failing.
So the mechanical goodness is your level does go down,
blood is on
but the
my hands.
badness is supposed to be it's supposed to cost you an additional point out of your pool. But
Oh,
I did not
wow.
remember that until right now.
Okay.
We gotta save him.
I'm not sure we would get there in time.
All right, so this is going to
Maybe-
cost me.
could you ask the
4
machines
points
No,
are
of
we're
really
gonna
roll.
do. We're gonna
Trying to
keep
get
doing what we were doing
That's
before
true.
because I didn't introduce that till now.
Sorry,
Okay.
I've been interacting verbally with them while all this is happening, and I
Yeah.
never asked you if that's okay.
Yeah, nothing is thrown your roll. I mean,
Okay.
the good news is that Lilith Minor is fully engaged.
Okay.
So if anything, what's likely to happen is like if something attacked you right now, you're without your additional defenses.
Okay, guys. Right now, if you go down and try to interfere with what those robots are doing, they are going to attack you.
Okay, well, that's part of the risk I take by wearing the badge that I made myself. So.
Yes, but how do we know they could be bandits? We know there are reports of bandits in this area.
Hey,
Do you want them saved?
yes, in Solis we have a
I was
strict.
not asking you,
Oh,
Lilith. Do you
Okay.
want them saved?
Ryan, you're pretty sure one of those people has a small child.
we gotta
Oh.
go. It's innocent until proven guilty. And
I
also,
already-
children are innocent.
I said my character has a soft spot for children. So,
Oh, excellent. I didn't even know I was pulling on that. Okay, awesome.
so
This was their decision. You and I are not going to die for it.
And I will stay behind to defend.
Well, you can still tell them where they're going if you want. You should be able to figure it out if you
Okay.
make that roll.
Also, you want to
So right now you're rolling a 9.
17.
Oh,
Oh.
as soon as you have to roll a 9, you get a 17.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, you are pretty sure you know the layout from those pipes that you were in before. You could tell someone how to get down there.
Okay.
How do you get down there?
I have a way I think I can help if we can get down there.
Okay.
I have a cipher that can save them.
Oh, great.
Also, you could totally right now just lift the information off of Kryn's mind because he thinks he knows where he's going.
If you allow me.
If you can.
Okay, I will do it.
Okay.
Say hi to the worms. They hunger.
I think that costs me.
Man's mental powers.
Wonderful. I was thinking of deputizing all of you, but I don't know now.
It's just
Okay,
one
it costs you
plus
1
So I got
plus. I'm
deputized
going to say this is a 1,
two
so you don't have to
people, and
spend
then
it.
the
Kryn's face is
Because it's
just
willing
crawling
contact
right
and you're
now.
not doing
What is the
Uh,
1 plus into me?
It allows you to increase the duration.
Oh, right.
So that's what you would spend more effort on. So no, in that moment, you clearly read the map from Kryn's head and you
Okay.
know where you would go.
All right.
With your already existing knowledge of the thing, you can easily go that direction.
Okay. When we get there, I have a cipher which can spray out a slippery gel. So we can spray it out between the machines and the people. They will have a chance to escape.
Perfect.
I take it you're
pop
saying
on
this as you're
all
running
my
down
armor,
this
and I'll
corridor?
battle him.
Okay.
I'll battle too.
Okay, so you're ice armoring?
Actually, I have the... let's do the ice armor first. That
Okay.
costs 1 intellect. Give me 1 intellect left.
Awesome, and you can still make a recovery roll if you haven't used your 1 action recovery roll.
I did
Otherwise,
that
you need 10
already.
minutes. Okay.
So I want to do the 10... Could I do the 10 minutes one as I'm running?
Not as you're running, no. You got to be
Ooh,
not doing
okay,
anything for 10
never mind
minutes. Yeah, that would take out all the dramatic pacing.
All right, but I am ice armored, so that gives me an extra armor. Give me 4 armor.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you guys managed to find a shortcut. You managed to find your way down to where these people are. You basically come barreling out of this port, and you were in this long cylindrical room. It has like a deep metallic sheen to it, and everything just kind of runs down like one big pipe like this. And it's pointing out to open air. So in the corner, way back here up against the wall, you see all these people, and when you pop out, they all look scared, but none of them seem to have weapons immediately. They start like looking for things they can grab, and one of them clutches a child to their chest, and they're all responding right away.
Don't be alarmed. I'm just your friendly neighborhood constable, Officer Rhyme.
Okay. Do you have a positive social skill you're trying to use there?
No.
Okay.
No, but all of his floating things say hi.
Yeah. Right. They don't speak that language apparently.
Yeah.
They don't.
I
they
should
don't
have
get the
mentioned this
floating
earlier, but I do have like my oddity, which I think all of us have.
Yeah.
Is a bunch of weird floating plates always going around my head
Yes.
with strange symbols on them.
Yep. So all of them are flashing and pointing out different symbols, but nobody seems able to read them. Why don't you make a roll for this? It's an intellect test. It's a difficulty 4, so you got to roll a 12.
Ugh, okay. We have to give them like a presentation and tell. I got an 11.
Okay, it was close, but they're too shocked. They're too worried.
Yeah.
But right about the time that they're starting to consider what you're saying, another port iris is open, and the robot starts scuttling out.
I'm going to use my cipher, the friction reducing gel, to spray across an area up to 10 feet square between the robots and the people.
Awesome. What's the level on the cipher?
That is 5.
Okay. So you spray down the gel, and the robots are all scuttling forward.
Run!
And the people are trying to figure out what to do, and the robots start slipping, and they can't get their like multi-pod legs down where they want them to be, and they are just scooting all around, and they're like spinning out, and their legs are dangling up in the air, so they are immobilized right now.
Run away! Go! Flee!
Okay, and the people start running. Some of them are trying to grab things still.
Don't
there are about
spend time.
8 people here.
Don't waste time. These things will kill you.
Okay, so all that is going on. It
And then
seems like,
we should.
I want to get in between the robots and the people, maybe like start smashing some of the robots.
if you want, they're all immobilized right
I
now.
think if you leave them alone, it would be better for us to run away.
Well,
Here we go.
we're gonna take care of them eventually, aren't we?
I don't think it's necessary if we run away.
Nobody listens to me.
It's okay. What's that?
I said nobody listens to my character.
Hey,
I
aren't you
listened.
glad it's consistent
I said
across
not
all
to
the
You
attack.
did. I said don't attack them, and you're not attacking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody does listen to my
I see your point.
Yeah.
One person.
We'll heroically run away.
Yes. Back
Okay.
the way we came.
Do you wait until all the people are out of the area?
I'm waiting. I'm gonna make sure they're gone.
Okay, so you wait until the people are out of the area. I wish I had thrown this track on at the beginning, but that's okay. You guys have been gone. All this interaction has taken about 25 minutes.
Okay.
Are you coming all the way back up to control at that point?
Yes.
Okay, so you're up to control. You are just about there, just about the 25-minute mark. So we talked about this audible chronometer earlier.
Yes, we did.
It just went off.
Okay.
This is for you. Enjoy.
Nice.
So you're standing here, your interface, Lilith Minor is totally projected forward. You know that you were about to resolve this thing. Your chronometer goes off.
Okay.
Does Crane know what that means?
Yes.
Crane knows
Yes,
what
he
that means.
does.
He knows that means 5 minutes.
5 minutes to game time.
Yeah. So,
I thought you said 10 minutes.
oh, does it?
Wasn't it 10? I think you said 10 before,
No,
so I'm not
10
trying to
makes sense.
totally
10
make your
minutes
life
till
harder.
game time. So I do have enough time to interact slightly before.
You're going to get a couple minutes in here. Yeah.
Okay, great. Which one do I eat?
Get the one that doesn't taste like ice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes... Okay, great.
Maybe you would like something cold. One made of ice.
So as you
I
guys
see.
start coming through the iris port of the room, about that time, you flip the trigger, you have broken through the data wall that surrounds this entity. The intelligence interacts with you. Superior access level granted.
Excellent. And I take it that now I know the access code for superior access.
You're just authenticated for now.
I'm just authenticated.
Yeah, you probably won't have to do anything further, and you're in control.
Okay, great. Number one, I set up the system to start doing repairs on itself. So to fix all the broken stuff.
Okay, and you're getting back a message where some of the systems are going to be repairing themselves, some things are just offline right now, and most importantly, power is being diverted now to primary purpose because control's been brought online.
Okay.
The center of the room, the panels, they all kind of like flip like this, and there is a much larger viewport.
Right.
And you see an orbital view as something comes down and you start seeing it, and you've seen maps of your settlement. You guys all have kind of an idea of where you are, so you start seeing the camera come down to the point where you can see Solis, but this is not a rendition by a computer or anything like that. This is live picture. You can see Solis, and then it sort of opens up, and it gets a little bit bigger and comes a little farther out, and you are looking at your settlement from orbit, you imagine. And as you're doing this now, you can see little red squares are tracing something out here on the right-hand side, and it pulls down, the view gets closer, and you see what looks like 100, 150 marker, which are goat-headed abhumans that are known for a taste for human flesh. And they are stalking and walking, they're brandishing spears and axes and clubs, and they are heading in the direction of Solis.
Okay. I try to access whether or not I can be teleported to where they are, if this machine has teleportation functions.
This machine does not offer teleportation.
Does...
Would you like to target?
Yes, target ball.
And all the red squares go solid red, and the screen again kind of pulls out. Target acquired.
Query, can one target be brought here, and if so, how quickly?
This unit does not offer teleportation capacities. Weapon system being brought online.
Okay. Target destroy all... What were these things called?
Marger. They're Marger. Yeah, abhumans is good too.
Right.
Maybe
Destroy all Marger.
Maybe you could bring one by drone.
And as this is happening, like when you give the command right now, the area you were just in, that long cylindrical column, it starts to like glow blue. And you see all of a sudden those shacks that were over in the corner that were composed out of whatever they had pulled off the walls, they're gone. They evaporate. And it goes from like this dullish blue to a blinding white light. And there's this moment where the screen, you can tell it's like adjusting to like a new level of like brightness, because it goes so bright you can't see the screen anymore, and then it kind of dials down, and you can just see a solid white column. On this orbital view, all of a sudden, from the sky, you see a lance of blinding white energy come down to the planet. And it goes like this across the entire line of Marger. The image is there, and you can see it very clearly. There is no soil, there is no grass. This laser light energy, whatever it is, has drilled down to the rock of the earth, and it is burning, smoldering. And you see like the edges crumbling in. On the screen, based on the other things you're seeing, you probably just cut a trench about a mile wide on the earth.
I'm grinning like a maniac about this. Okay, because I'm probably starting to get bloodthirsty at this
It's
point.
really close.
As a Hail Mary
I
before
have a question on a character.
Yeah.
Why would we have teamed up with somebody if we knew they might wind up eating us?
That's a really good question.
You
And
don't know that
I
about
don't know.
her.
I didn't know.
Okay,
plus,
but
Halleck kind of picked the teams, so maybe he's
Okay.
thinking to himself, you know who'd be who would really benefit from this trip? So, as we continue on here, intelligence. Yeah.
It was established that we did know that she had this problem because we knew about her seeking a cure.
Sure.
So
We didn't know the exact nature of the disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cure for what?
Chicken pox?
Okay.
Hiccups.
Well,
It's the old secretly. Never mind.
we'll work with this.
All right.
We're going to make this.
I am trying to find ways to not eat you right now.
I would appreciate that.
As the system continues to look for things, it says acquiring additional targets. And then you start seeing more red squares, more red squares, more red squares, more red squares. And pretty soon there are probably about 800 squares on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts narrowing in on Celise. And it starts building squares in Celise.
Okay.
Additional targets acquired.
Have me and Nick made it back yet?
Yeah, you guys are there in this room right now while this is happening.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I tell it to not target the humans of Celise. Number one. Number two, trying to find out if there are other organics inside of this complex besides us right now.
Okay, so you got a lot of stuff going on. So first thing is you try to find it, you try to tell it not to target additional or humanoids.
I would appreciate it.
The machine runs a scan, and you can tell it's scanning right now, unable to differentiate between life forms. No life forms return as human.
Okay.
And the red squares now go solid red.
I say cease targeting all life forms.
Cease targeting.
Cease targeting, cease destroying, cease offensive actions entirely.
The squares now go red outline again on the map. But now the machine queries back at you. The purpose of this machine is to defend Imperial interests. No Imperial targets recognized.
Tell it the Empire no longer exists. It has no purpose.
All right.
Could it
You
target?
two need to run. You need to run and get as far away from us as
You've got about a minute.
All right, let's
You
run.
you
I
can
trust him.
feel
Okay.
Lilith miners now contracting to the body. Things
What
are starting
about
to swell.
Celise, though?
We'll take care of it. You need to run, and you need to. knock
Somebody
them
tells
back.
me to run. I believe him.
Okay, I can defend myself. Like,
Run.
I'm running.
I'm gonna back away slowly, but I'm still keeping my eyes on the screen.
Do not target, do not vaporize targets.
Because I can't. I gotta protect my town. That's what a lawman does.
Kill.
I'm
eat,
gonna run.
Eat. This
Okay.
is the command
Back
I'm
the
giving
way
you
we
right
came.
now.
You're going back through the port.
You're telling it to eat.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of eat a second ago.
Yeah. So at this point, basically, I'm just because she's still plugged into it, but
Sure.
the beast stuff is beginning to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She starts. She gives it the command.
Creatures.
Stop vaporizing. Commence eating. Eat. Kill. Consume. Destroy. Eat.
What's it doing to Celise?
Right now, the only keyword it's recognizing is kill. It's processing keywords at this point. So there's a moment here of processing, and the intelligence kind of like turns its head back and forth like this as that goes on. Are you out of the room, or are you still there?
I'm in like the doorway, but I'm kind
Okay.
of watching things. so
You're in
I'll
the
make sure my
doorway.
town's okay.
Nick, how far back have you gone?
I
I got my shield
ran.
up
Okay,
there.
cool.
And
Are you
meanwhile,
going all the way
there's-
back towards processing, or where are you going?
Well, I don't. Oh, that's the only way we know how to get out of here.
Yeah, you know processing. You know the weapons area, which is clearly not a great choice right now.
Yeah. I mean, unless I learned based on scanning him and what I already knew, a shortcut to get out, I'd have to go back through processing.
Yeah, well, you know, processing back to the main area, so you know that route. You could probably infer your way out of control back to the main chamber
Yeah.
if you want to make a roll on that.
Okay.
So let's say for you right now, this is going to be a difficulty 3.
I'm going to, 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to put some effort into it.
Okay, sure. It's intellect.
So I'm going to bring it down to a difficulty 2.
Sure, sounds good. So you got to roll a 6 here.
17.
17. You are handily finding your way back. It's taking a bit of time, but not as long as it could if you really had to think about it. So you're
Yeah.
doing good. Okay, you're at the doorway. You are,
Approaching Lilith,
okay?
grabbing her shoulders and saying, "Now we hunt. Now we go."
And at this point, there's like silver goo spilling back out of the machine and sort of covering her until she like becomes the monster.
Right. So transformation is happening now.
Yeah.
Yep, things are going on. What's
I'm
going
very
on with the
alarmed by
machine?
this,
What's going on
but-
with the intelligence? Are you
Huh?
trying to stay plugged in
But this
anymore, or are you
leaves
letting it go?
press-
I mean,
seven
I would
shits
think
for a
that
picture
Lilith.
of
How much of Lilith Minor can stay plugged into the machine while the rest is going out and killing?
Probably not any.
Okay, so she's just not interacting with the
Yeah,
machine.
so you're just going to shut down that link at this point, or what's your
Yeah.
thought?
I mean, like I said, it broadcast out kill, eat, destroy.
Yeah, all those red squares are still on the screen.
Yeah.
So can I see, is the laser charging, powering up?
It's not powering up yet. You don't see any like laser column entering the that screen or anything like that. But there are
Celeste is
all
targeted.
these red squares. Yeah, Celeste is one big series of red squares.
Okay, I'm gonna dash after this guy while kind of keeping an eye on her with the shield up.
Okay, he's far off.
I'll run. I'll call
I'm
out
just gonna
him.
go down
Nick,
the
Nick, you can talk to it, right?
Can I hear him?
yeah,
Nick,
yeah,
I'm
you can hear
shouting.
him.
Yes, I can try. To
Nick,
talk to
tell it not to target Celeste. Tell it to stop.
All right, I will try to tell it to not to target anybody because the Empire no longer exists.
Just don't target Celeste.
Therefore, there are no enemies of the Empire.
Okay, so you're gonna go back to the control room, or you're gonna do it where you're at?
I'm going to try to do it where I am if I see any sort of control panel.
Okay, so I'm gonna say you are in a tough action right now because you're trying to do something outside of control. I'm saying you're at difficulty 8 here because control's already a 7,
All right, I'm going to put
but you're training Numenera, so it's a 7 now again.
7
What
times
else
3
we
is
got?
21.
21.
I can't roll a 21.
You cannot roll a 21.
I'll put two things of effort into it.
Okay, so you can only do one because you're only tier 1
okay.
character. That's why life is
So-
hard.
All right, so that brings it down to a
6 right now.
6 times 3 is 18.
Okay, I'm gonna say Aurora if you want. Or, no, sorry about that. That happens. If Lilith wants to throw a Hail Mary here, at least I didn't call you Embers that time. If you want to throw a Hail Mary in here, you can say your last interaction, you were trying to shut this thing down. Would you agree with that?
Yes, before she flipped over to like killbot mode.
5. Okay, I'm gonna say your asset there is an asset for Chris. So they know the system knows it's supposed to shut down. He's managed to make contact with it. He's trained in Numenera, so we're at a 5. You only have to roll a 15.
All right, Hail Mary. 13.
Oh, it's so close. It's so
Reroll.
close.
Reroll.
He has to spend effort for
He,
that too.
no, he's still in I spent XP, so he doesn't have to spend more effort right now.
Can I give?
You can give someone XP. You can
Okay.
always do that.
All right. Take
Well,
it.
he still he doesn't
Oh, yeah,
get
just
yet.
in case.
but,
Just in case.
4.
Okay, all right.
12.
Oh, here we go. Maybe one more chance. No pressure.
5.
Yeah, I'm not spending
No.
more XP.
Wow.
So-
Okay. Goodbye, Celeste.
There, you're connecting. You're trying.
Oh,
Things are
the
coming
copper
through.
couldn't protect his town.
No, you know what? I'm going to be terribly mean, and I'm going to finish this off with one more thing. Okay, I'm giving you a GM intrusion. If you want to spend that however you want, it's fine.
I'm gonna try
You
again.
got. Go ahead. You got to give one of those to somebody else, though.
Oh, yeah, I'll give it to you.
Thanks. I do. Yeah. I'm out. Got one now. Though.
20.
Oh my. Commands mental powers. That last moment, you are pushing as hard as you can, and you decide, you know what? Enough with this physical interface. You're not going to push buttons. You're not going to touch things. You reach out and you grab the intelligence in the control room and you tell it you are going to. How are you going to tell it this?
I'm going to say you are being illogical. There is no. Your purpose is to defend the Empire. If there is no Empire to defend, you should not be attacking. If you cannot talk to the Empire or know the Empire, then the Empire is no longer existing.
And you get this like feedback loop type thing, and it says final signal processing. System destroying. Self-destruct.
Uh-oh.
And
I had a feeling.
everything gets the red lights. Like that low klaxon starts going off. Things have gotten intense. Suddenly, the entire building... I like the other sound better. Suddenly, the entire building starts emitting sounds. You have a timer. If you plan on getting out of here.
Run.
Yeah. We gotta go.
I'm taking it that's probably about when the monster shows up. In the
Yeah,
hallway.
isn't it a very convenient circumstance that right now Lilith has arrived on the scene?
Right. So, what animals would your character be afraid of?
I don't know. It's completely random.
Just beastly wolf-like creatures with tons of teeth. Is that what we're looking for?
Those are pretty scary.
You know, if he's scared of spiders, then it would be spider-like. If he's scared of dogs, it would be dog-like. If he was scared of sharks, it would be
He's not really
shark-like.
scared of animals. He's scared of other things. But
What are you scared of?
he's scared of humanity ending.
Well, then that's
Something
just...
Like a waste, like a
The
desert
apocalypse?
waste. Yeah.
Right. So then it's
It's
taken...
like a sand monster, maybe.
Yeah, or it's like
Or
basically feels like death is coming, and it's almost got like a skeletal skull-like appearance to it.
That would work.
This
That
thing
sounds
that's
good.
just come tearing around the hall.
And it is coming for him, huh?
But I was already.
He's well off on his own way now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in between
Can
you and him, though.
Could you eat
Oh,
the
what?
ship?
Oh, do you step between us?
Well, I was between you, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's somewhat down the port. Nika's quite a ways down the
If you're
port.
charging after us, you're going to hit me
Yeah.
before you hit
Okay,
me.
what are you scared of?
Candy canes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something.
Unicorns.
The heat, because I'm like the sun.
Lava.
Yeah, I don't have like a weird lava thing running after me. I can say it's
That's how you know it's the correct answer. Weird lava thing is coming after you.
Okay, yeah, lava monster.
And all of the possible waste energy that the nanobots can exude is being exuded as heat.
Yeah.
So it is burning and scorching the corridors as it like pours through this port.
Oh god,
Awesome.
my icy exterior starts melting.
Yeah, eventually, one of these days. So, Corinne, what are you going to do?
Are you kidding? Corinne loves this.
This is the best day ever?
Yes.
Okay,
This is
awesome.
what he lives for.
You have the danger, the fact that
This
you're in an
is the whole
exploding
reason
building.
you never
And you have the
We're
fact that you've got
codependent.
you've got Lilith, who is now on the hunt as a lava monster scorching the ground in front of you. Okay, good times. So, yep.
And on my way out, might as well detonate the singularity device.
Okay, if anybody ever watches this in the universe, we dealt out random ciphers at the beginning. I did not know that there was a level 10 cipher, which is a singularity. So, of course, in the initial draw in the game, I hand-wheel a singularity that is a level 10, which, by the way, that is the highest level there is in the normal game, cipher. So you are setting it off where? Control?
Oh, yeah.
So you just...
Toss it behind.
Okay, would you like to read...
I'm
ship is blowing
actually
up,
also
and he
throwing
sets off the
this
singularity, it
between
sucks
him
everything
and
back
I.
in.
Yeah,
Okay.
problem solved.
The lightning wall
I guess.
protection.
Between Corinne and you, or between
No,
everybody else?
between me and their possible escape route.
Okay, so you tried to protect them on your way out?
I'm trying to keep them in with me.
Oh, okay. Well, how
Story.
far out can you put it? Let's see. 30 feet by 30 feet by 1 foot. Doesn't say how far out you can activate it or anything like that. I don't know. Let's see. That's going to be tough.
Plus, I took a way back that
Yeah.
was not the way we came in.
You've been, yeah, so that's the thing. Okay. So you throw a wall up. Michael, you're going to have to try to find your way around the wall probably, but there is a wall out there.
Can I smash through it with my defense?
It is a
Strength.
electricity wall, so you can try that perhaps, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So, but let's talk about other stuff that's happening here too.
Yeah.
You got to read the singularity card, dude. You got to read the singularity.
Read the singularity. Okay.
Yeah, this would help.
Explodes and creates a momentary singularity that tears at the fabric of the universe. Inflicts 20 points of damage to all within short range, drawing them or their remains together to immediate range, if possible. Player users in the radius move one step down the damage track if they fail a might defense roll.
So I'm taking you're trying to throw this more than short range away from yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and make a simple might test of, like, let's say level 3.
Okay. I rolled a 10.
Okay, so you made it, so you managed to get this thing cast to the far end of this room. We already established about 120 feet, so that'll easily do it. You get it on that column right there in the center, and it just goes, and everything immediately just gets crushed together, and this room is now being, like, twisted and crushed entirely, and you're going out the door.
Oh, so you just blew up the control room?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ripped it to pieces. So we've got that. We know that, Michael, you've got a lightning barrier somewhere up ahead of you. It's a level 5. So are you going to try to do something to it? You're going to try to go around it? What do you want to do?
I am trained in might defense, so
Yeah.
I want to just hold the shield out, smash my way through it.
Okay, cool. So for you, you need to roll a 4. That's a 12.
Okay, I'm going to spend some might
Okay.
to spend 2 might. Give me 12 left.
Yep.
Let's bust through. So now it's a
9.
9. Okay, yeah, it goes down by 3. That's a 10.
10. Okay, so you make it through. You just press through, and the shield is making energy arc everywhere, and you just blast through that wall. Okay, so we're continuing on. So we've got, on this side, we've got Lilith, what are we calling you now? Lilith Minor?
Lilith
Is that where
Minor.
we're at, right? And she is pouring through this hallway, burning everything, going as she goes.
Yeah.
Kryn is racing along behind. Okay, Neek is somewhere up ahead. We've already established you're going to find your way into the main chamber where you started out. So that's happening, and you're just going. So let's do a speed test. Let's have everybody roll for speed, and we'll see where our numbers line up. This is like initiative. So if you have initiative training, keep it. Otherwise, just know what your number is.
I do have a speed edge.
Yeah.
Can you spend? Can we spend on this?
Yeah, if you want to spend on it, you well, actually, that's the thing. We don't need a number, so let's not spend on this.
Okay.
Let's just keep a roll, and then if you want to spend for some reason to re-roll, you can re-roll.
Ooh, I got a 7.
11.
Okay, 11. 19.
I got 13.
Okay, cool. So Neek was already the farthest out, so he's maintaining being the farthest out. Okay, Rhyme was not as far out, and now the distance between you and Lilith Minor is decreased. And then you're basically just riding tail, right? You're not even trying to be the fastest one out.
No, I don't have. I can be, but
Is there any reason you want to go past Lilith? Okay, yeah.
I want to use hedge magic to alter my tracks.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you've gotten the idea that these tracing lights give a pretty good indicator of where things are.
But also tracks that a hunter could, like physical tracks.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Sure.
make
that's
them
fine.
look like they're going different.
That's fine. We'll do that.
Especially once I get out, so it looks like maybe I go one way and they go the other way.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do that.
So how is he within short range of me?
Who's that, Rhyme? Close. He's not quite in short range yet.
Could I throw this at him?
What do we got now?
Okay, I have a cipher of my own I want to spend as well.
Yeah, you can throw a
That's,
desiccating detonation at him if you want to.
Wow,
Yeah.
great. Pop the popsicle, huh?
Yeah.
I told you to run,
do you like the
man.
part where water in this area is vaporized? Is that what you're really going for?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, Michael, you were going to have a cipher thrown at you. Initiative-wise,
I
she's going to
mean,
beat
don't
you.
say you weren't warned. I mean,
No.
Okay.
Look,
Why
someone's in
don't
the
you go
line of
ahead?
duty.
I mean, she's not stupid. She's still like a super genius.
Why would we ever team up with
Creature.
these people?
You need a speed defense of 6.
They are
We're having a
actually-
group meeting after
we're
this.
giving you
You
flavor.
have a shield, so
Okay,
it's a
but I'm
5.
actually
It's
I'm
actually
gonna
a
do-
7.
Oh, it is. It's a 7. Okay, you have a 6.
But no, if I'm going to use my cipher of my own,
Uh-huh.
which is the visual displacement device. It's a level 2,
Okay.
but it says it gives the wearer asset to speed defense actions for 10 minutes.
Okay, well, the good thing is it gives you the asset, because you're going to need that. Because otherwise, Cipher versus Cipher, this would win. But
It's
yeah, you can just
injection,
turn them over.
so I'll just
But so you have an asset.
stab it into me.
Yeah. So between it being an asset, it's now level 6. And then you're going to use your shield, so it would be level 5.
And I'm going to spend some speed as well.
Okay, so right now you're spending on a 5, so you're going to go to 4.
Okay. Which is a 12.
4 is a 12.
Alright, let's see if I can do that. A 12.
Ooh, on the money 12. So he kind of bats it away with his shield, and it goes just far enough away when it detonates that it does not suck all of the water out of you, Mr. Iceman, leaving you uniced.
Real rough.
Yeah, PvP is not necessarily the strong suit of this system. Sorry, guys, but
That's okay.
At least everybody's having fun as they run. Okay, let's do another test here. Same thing. We're just going to roll speed.
Okay.
We're just rolling to see who rolls high.
Okay.
You know, I would say if you want to spend on this, the way we would spend is we would add 3 to the roll.
So we're all outside now? Or?
No, this is the final roll. So Neek is at the point where he's about to enter the main chamber. You're at that iris port.
17.
We are at the point where you're midway through the tunnels, Rhyme. Lilith Minor is directly behind you, about to close immediate range, and then you're behind Lilith.
Okay.
13.
Okay.
15.
And that's a 9.
Okay, so
17.
yep, you're in the chamber. You've now officially left the port. What did you get?
13.
13,
15.
9.
9. So you have now closed with Rhyme. Rhyme, you are like in the tunnels. You are most of the way there, but you're not there. And then you're right behind Lilith.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get in front of her.
Okay.
And if it's the moment we see like a port outside, I'm going to try and distract her so that we can stop focusing on Ryan.
Okay, go for it.
Appreciate
what are
it.
you gonna What are you gonna do for this? Oh, how are you gonna do it?
Just use my control to calm the beast.
Right.
And
this is
then-
something you already have as a interaction between
Yeah.
you and
Yeah,
Lilith.
that's between the two. Our connection.
Yeah, can I do that
The
while
character
running?
is able to soothe you while you're in beast form. Yeah, because it's an action. You'll never attack him while transformed. If he spends 3 consecutive turns using his action to calm you down, you can revert to your normal form without having to make a roll.
Okay, so I would say in this one, unless you want to take more than 3, if you want to just take 3 turns, you can have this take 3 turns. If you want to spend an experience point right now, I'll say you're going to be able to achieve it in 1.
Well, I have no experience points to spend.
Ah, that's perfect. That's kind of how life goes sometimes. Okay, so you're going to start trying to calm Lilith down. You want to play it out?
Go to your happy place.
Rhyme is not prey. Rhyme is not prey. We do eat rye. We find another. We find another.
Where?
Away from rhyme. Away from Celise.
Find meat now.
We find the
Goat
meat.
people aren't around anymore.
We find the meat tonight. We don't eat now. We eat tonight.
She looks straight at you and like really ignites for a second.
I'm sweating.
And goes, lucky.
Yeah, I'm melted. It's all gone from the head.
It's like Frosty.
It goes, yes, it's great. Okay, so you're trying to take her
She
down a
like
different
basically
corridor?
said that like
You're
right
trying to take
in
her
your
down a
face.
different
You know,
corridor?
like the
Yeah.
scene in Alien 3 where the aliens like
Oh.
right up against her.
Oh god.
Awesome. You guys continue down this separate corridor. What are you going to do now?
Just keep running to get
Just
out.
go back out the main port. So you
Yeah,
guys have gotten to
okay.
the main chamber. You guys take this veer off, and for my closing GM intrusion that I'm going to throw at you.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. You guys run out this room, and this is actually technically at will. Sorry, I didn't throw it in the correct direction. As you run down this corridor and you like push open the next iris port, you find yourselves where you're looking down into that chasm that's down below the Cave of Wonders. But there is a fairly large cave-dwelling beast that is outside.
I'll give one to Chris there.
Yep, that looks good. Oh, that's perfect. It is apparently some sort of purple creature with many eyes and a mouth filled with drill-like teeth. It's got like a round, circular lamprey-type mouth, and it is very interested in meeting up with you and discussing this further. Because it starts like slithering up the side of the cave wall to come for you.
I launch myself right at it.
Awesome, I kind of figured that's where you guys will be.
I mean, this thing is a giant walking, well, slithering thing of meat.
Giant, slithering beast. Here we go. Okay, so as we continue on...
I take the form of some sort of bird-like thing.
That's
So
true,
we'll
the early
do-
word.
Yeah, so you guys have got your interaction. What are you guys going to keep doing?
So this, I'm confused, like relative positions,
So you got back to the chamber you were originally in.
and I was looking to go out.
Yep, and you're basically like you're at that like split, that chasm that goes
Right.
into the natural cave, and then Rhyme is behind you, just opening the iris
And I
port.
see this worm.
Nope, they're in a totally different.
Oh, they're
area.
totally just. So I
Yep,
have no
so you
idea
guys
the
have
worm's
seen one.
there.
You guys have seen two. Yep,
All right. So, but I'm here with Ryan.
yep.
You think we're safe now?
Well, there's that worm.
Worm?
You saw a flash
Oh.
of the worm, but no, he has no idea about the worm.
Oh. So we don't want to go outside then?
Well, you gotta take care of that worm.
All right.
So you guys start going out.
I guess
the
I'm
other
worried
side.
if we go outside, then she's going to eat one of us.
Well, it's a risk
It's
we're
creepy
gonna
when it
take
just
to
starts
leave.
like that.
All right. We'll go.
Otherwise, we're gonna be caught in the self-destruct. We're
All
dead
right.
for sure.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. All right. We'll go outside then. I'm going to keep running here to get out.
Okay.
Is the chasm that we're in like part of this structure or it's outside of the structure?
You've now left the structure, and they are now going through that side passage which will lead them out of the structure, the way where we cut in on the game. So, for where you're at, you see a giant worm.
Okay.
If you guys want to go before it, roll. It's level 5. It's speed. It's initiative, if you have training,
15.
15.
Can I roll for this as well, or not close enough?
Yeah, that's fine, but you guys are going to be a round out.
17.
So you're going to have to move for a round no matter what. So,
All right.
yeah, you can roll now or you can roll
Okay,
next
that's
round, whichever one you
a
like.
four, so-
Okay, that's fine. That's appropriate.
If we come out, are we going to be right next to the worm, or are we going to be far
You're
away
going to have to
from
work to be near the worm.
I don't necessarily want to be near the worm.
Yeah,
I want
so
to
you
be
don't-
outside, not near the worm, so I can shoot darts at it.
Yeah, sure, no
Okay.
problem. They are drawing the ire of the worm, so the worm will be near them, and you guys have about 130-foot spread between the two of you.
I can still shoot at it.
Yeah, sure, totally. Okay, so 15. Lilith, what'd you get?
17.
17. Okay, you're up. There is a creature. It is edible.
Oh, I'm gonna try to eat it.
Awesome.
A question about a power mode. What's that?
Man, I'm I'm sorry, I missed my robot music. I want my robot music back.
Oh.
Oh, cool. So,
Have
since this thing
worm
has a
theme.
brain, Mind Slice actually would work on it.
Sure.
Cool. So I'm gonna try to damage its intelligence.
Okay. Now this isn't. Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
That's why I would target its intelligence.
I'll never go to university now.
Because it's not smart. So if correct me if I'm wrong about this, if it hits, like, starts taking intelligence damage, it would be paralyzed because it loses control of its body.
Let's go with it.
Okay. And I don't have to spend intellect points to use because my intellect edge is +1.
Yep. So you're doing your onslaught, and you need to roll against a 5.
Against a 5?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's a 15 to roll, in other words.
Okay.
Level 5.
Cool, and I cannot spend intellect points right now, so...
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So no armor will be affecting here.
No, but I didn't manage either.
Okay. That's all right.
Can't
Unless you want to
target
spend experience and points on it, we'll just move on.
Sure.
Why not,
I mean,
right?
why
Who
not?
doesn't want to eat a giant worm?
It's resolutely rolling 7.
Okay, so that's not going to happen. So the creature, you're not able to hit it. Okay, you're going to follow up. Kryn?
Yes. Crossbow. I'm
Crossbow.
using Pierce.
Okay, piercing with a crossbow.
I rolled a 10.
10 is not good in this case. You're not trained in a crossbow or anything like that, so you don't hit it. You're rerolling it? Let's do
Yeah,
it,
why
man.
not?
Let's go for it.
Kill the worm.
17.
17 is going to hit it, and you get an additional point of damage.
Yeah,
so
so that's
1 there,
5.
1 for Pierce, so 5 total.
Mhm.
How's it 5 total?
Well, the
Pierce is an
crossbow
additional,
4.
right?
Pierce is +1.
Yeah, isn't Pierce +1 damage?
Yeah.
And then 17 gives you a +1 damage. So you get
Oh,
6. 6 points of damage is good. The creature kind of like hisses and rears back, and it's going to go for you. So if you want to defend against it, you need to make a speed test or a might. Which one do you want to do? Speed or might defense?
Speed.
So you got to do that, and the difficulty is again 5, so 15.
5.
5 total?
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. So you take 6 points of damage to your might pool. As this creature reaches forward,
Apparently, I'm using my XP.
at the last moment, as it is about to sink its
18.
teeth into your body, you manage to smoothly move out of the way because you are swift. It did not hit you.
We've used up all of our XP.
That's awesome. That's how the game works. Don't worry, you guys don't need XP. Okay.
I mean, I would be saving it normally to...
yeah.
But
Right.
Yeah.
But-
Okay, so
The
Michael
long-term
comes out of the
plan.
cave, and you can see the beast off in the distance. Are you going towards it?
Yeah, I'm charging that worm.
You charge towards it. Okay.
I'll
Beast comes
start
out.
to close the distance, and,
Uh-huh.
and while I'm doing that, shoot a dart at it.
Okay, so you're knocking a dart. Go ahead and take a shot at it. Again, you're rolling a 15.
7.
7.
I'll
so you
reroll.
shoot. Okay, what? This is the time.
3.
3. You shoot, but you are not successful in hitting this fast-moving worm. Okay, we move back to the top with Lilith.
okay, I'm sure that I'm just going to go ahead and make might attacks against
Sure.
it.
Might attacks sound good. How much might do you want to spend on eating this worm?
Let's see. I mean, well, I can put in effort on
Yeah,
this.
right? This
So
is
I'm
the time
going
to
to
do
go
it.
ahead and put in some effort.
I know
There
it's
you
a
go.
swarm of nanobots, but I still have a picture of like a beastly woman like chomping on a one.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
I mean,
right?
this thing really looks more like a biomechanoid
Yeah.
at this point.
Worm.
Right.
Used our anthropomorphication of it.
Okay. So that drops it down to a 12 I need to get.
Yeah.
It's our first 12.
And I rolled a 19, by the way.
So that's great. That is what we get as a minor effect. So,
That means the minor effect is that it's scared.
well, I think there's something scary about a giant swarm of nanobots deciding to destroy your body.
Right. So, let's see. Yeah. The target is so intimidated by your bestial attack that it is dazed for 1 round, during which time the difficulty of all tasks it performs is modified by 1 step in its detriment.
So now, if you were trying to defend against this thing, it's only a 4, for example. So the beast is like, it's not sure what's going on because there's a cloud of nano-organisms that's attaching to its body as you like
Right.
rend into it. And so it's trying to like wiggle all this stuff out of its wounds and
Right.
it doesn't know how.
So it looks like massive claws sinking into it, but in reality it's several concentrated nanobots pulling apart its meat and
Yep.
absorbing the protein into there.
Oh.
So what is your damage in your
Tasty.
beastie form?
We never really worked it out.
So we figured out it's
good
going to be like a
protein.
medium attack,
We
right?
figured it was a medium attack, so
Okay.
4, but she is
4.
like using both of her hands and
Right.
biting and stuff.
Well, so
I
you're going
don't-
to get that minor effect, which is going to be the fact that it got dazed, but you still get all 4 points of damage.
Yeah.
And then you've additionally got, so we're at 10. That's a lot of damage for this creature. It is mostly dead at this point.
Yeah.
But Chris, I don't remember what Neek's actual number was you rolled for initiative.
Oh, I never did.
Okay, well, if you want to go ahead and roll a d20,
I just
we'll put you in
assumed
where-
I was at the end.
Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and roll, we'll put you in
Alright.
where it's appropriate.
4 at the end.
Okay, cool.
Where I thought.
You have good instincts. Okay, so you're up.
15.
Yeah.
Worm still by me.
Worm's still by you.
Stick it.
Sticking the worm.
Stuck the land.
I rolled a 5.
5. That's not very good. So the creature is so distracted. And, wait, I'm sorry. It's only a 4 right now because it would be a 12 because of it being attacked
Okay.
by cat.
Still
So
under it.
5 is pretty close to 12, right?
Okay, so I'm using thrust as well.
Yeah.
So,
So it's still you still have to roll 12.
okay.
So
10.
well, the dice don't like you. There's that. Okay, didn't happen. That's all right.
Stupid slippery worm.
Stupid slippery worm. All right, the worm's turn. The worm, in its fury, is lashing around and it's going to try to hit Lilith.
Okay.
So you got to roll a speed defense or a might defense, depending on if you're standing and staying or if you're moving out of the way.
Probably rolling a might defense.
Okay, roll is 12.
Okay. And I can spend for this
Yeah,
too,
sure,
right?
totally. Yep.
Oh, go ahead and spend since I have an edge right now.
When
why
else are
not?
you going to use might, right?
Right. Okay. So that means I have to roll higher than a 9.
Yep.
I rolled an 11.
Nice.
Ah, see?
That is higher than 9, so you are good.
Ooh.
Why did everything stop being on loop? That's so weird.
So yeah, it basically like tries to hit me with its tail, and
Yeah.
what happens instead is I bite into its tail.
Yeah, you just like grab it and claw and bite, and all these different like orifices are moving in, and just that's fine. Okay, Rhyme,
Just leap up to that worm and plunge the blade in.
go for it.
And I'm going to pop a cipher, the
Oh,
density
okay.
controller.
This is the one that's going to make it hit harder, right?
Yes.
Now you don't have to spend it until you're done actually making the attack if you don't want to.
Okay, well, it does last for 28 hours.
Okay,
so.
sure. You already spent it
Jeez.
yesterday or last turn. That's
Yeah,
fine.
sure. All right, so let's roll, and I'm going to actually spend some might to...
Sure. So right now you're trying to get a 4 difficulty. So now you're gonna get a 3 when you spend on it.
All right, I'm going to get a 10. Okay.
So you got to roll a 9.
And I'm going to use that thrust, too, to do even more damage. I got a 15.
Okay, so you've got whatever damage increase from the cipher, which is what?
That's plus 2.
Okay, so you got 2 plus you got the 1 from thrust, and it's a medium weapon, so you got a total of 7 damage.
Oof. Yeah.
How does Lilith feel about the fact that Rhyme just killed this worm?
Did he kill it?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Still plenty to eat, though.
Yeah,
Lots of
and
room
it's,
to go around.
the blade is plunged
It's like a big
down. It's
worm
kind of like
buffet.
doing its final twitching things.
I mean, she doesn't really care who kills it, but she does care who eats it. So, you know, it's like
Don't
when
worry.
when a dog has a bone and it growls
Yeah.
at you just instinctually. So it growls at you.
Yeah, I go way back.
And there's blood just pouring out of this creature at
Yeah.
this
So
point.
we're also getting away from the base because it's going to self-destruct.
There is that, yeah.
Yeah. So she's just eating this thing.
Eating is no problem at all. And at the very close, you need to make the speed defense roll to get out when this thing blows up. Right now. Difficulty 6.
All of us?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
You
spending.
can spend whatever you want to spend. You can do any ciphering, anything else you need to do now, but yeah, this is a 6.
I'm spending
All right.
1, so it's a 5.
Yep.
I'm gonna spend as much.
Oh, a
But you
natural
can only
20.
spend.
Nice.
You can only spend one.
You can only spend 1 level of effort. So it's going to get down to a 5 and a 15. Okay, so
Yeah,
natural
I need
20,
to reroll.
huge effect. What are you going to do with ice? It's going to make this so cool. How does this somehow impede the explosion?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Because you're going to make this somehow 1 easier,
Oh, yeah. That's
15.
which is just what saved Chris. Just so you know, you just made it easy enough to
Oh.
save Chris,
Can I
Okay.
ask a quick question?
Yeah.
This thing, it's exploding in flame, right?
right?
I'm using this cipher.
Okay,
And
'cause-
I'm gonna just keep eating.
Oh, well, the nice thing is between you and Michael, you guys just made it happen. Because the ice effect that you were projecting, like again, in fear, it seems to become much stronger. You managed to dissipate some of the ambient heat, and then apparently Kat just threw down a flame retardant wall that has just like expanded behind you and is
Catches the
stopping
fire.
the brunt of this explosion.
Oh, man.
So
Ew.
Neek managed to jump out of the way earlier. You had already gotten past this, or no?
No, I'm
Okay.
just. I rolled a 7.
Well, so Neek got past it. You were about to be incinerated, and then Rhyme just like throws up this cloud of ice. You throw up the flame retardant wall, and it gets stopped, and you can feel that vibratory impact against the wall. and you have all survived.
Yeah. My character stops eating for long enough to go like, rude flames.
That's
There's
right.
There's like bioorganic metal
Well,
all over this creature, just like sucking all of the blood out of its body and like pulling all of its flesh off.
Enjoy that worm.
Super gross.
It's all you.
I'll go ahead and make my intelligence check now to stop being a monster.
Purple worm. Go for it.
Purple worm.
Since I've consumed
It's a gummy
something
worm.
that's substantial in size.
What am I gonna put in my report?
People said nobody could eat 50 links of purple worm.
Yeah, so she's back to being a person now. So basically, like, all the silver stuff kind of goes off, covers the worm, and then dissipates into the air.
All the nanobots are
Yeah.
full. Well, guys, this is how you play Numenera.
Cool.
Hey, guys.
So, in the end of a session like this, we would usually establish a couple key points and give you experience based on. Like completing a session, I would usually give people 2 points. And then the fact that you made it out without the town getting destroyed, I would say would be an additional 2 points.
Ooh.
So you get 4 experience points at this point, which you could bank towards character advancement. 4 is a great number to give at the end of a session, in my opinion, because that does give you 1 advance that you could make towards you going to the next tier. And advances are all awesome. You can increase your effort, you can increase your edge, you can spend 4 points in your pools, or you can get trained in a skill or specialize in a skill you already have. And those are all awesome things. So, debriefing time-wise, we just kind of let the music do its thing. How did you guys like playing Numenera?
That's fun.
Neat.
I do have a question.
Sure.
When my character reverts to human form and it goes back to their original might pool, does the amount of might that I spend transfer over?
It's a great
Or
question.
does that just dissipate?
Especially with this being in the nature of a one-shot game, I would go in the direction of giving you back your regular full might pool.
Right.
But I don't know, the fair way is probably like if you had continuing scenes to go back to having spent out of your normal might pool, right? I mean, that would probably be fair at other people.
Yeah,
in the
I
long
mean,
term.
I would think that it would be until you hit your normal might pool.
Mhm.
Like, so if I kept spending down past what my normal might pool is,
Mhm.
I
I
would
could see
think
that.
that at that point,
Yeah.
like, it's permanent or
Yeah.
stuff that I have to deal with. But right now, it just was affecting the.
Yeah, and if we were doing like a long form game, I'd probably read up on it in between, and we'd figure out what makes sense and how it's fairish to people. So, yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
So, Will, you've never played Numenera before.
No.
Is it as much fun as Predation? Less fun? More fun?
You know, it's. I would say that this seems like it's a little bit more open with what you can do.
And you got a billion years to do whatever you want, right?
I mean, everything's possible in this. You're not. You can have almost any kind of a sci-fi setting in here,
Sure.
and you're not. It's not a specialized narrative that you're trying to have.
So you like that because it gives you more control? Or
Yeah,
what is it?
totally non-linear, totally open-ended. You could be like, okay, here comes a buzzsaw robot, and then some horrible bio monster.
Yeah, but we're agreed the dinosaurs are awesome. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No argument there.
All right. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like the dinosaurs from Predation.
Right? Which is fair. Dinosaurs are great.
But I enjoy how it's like in Predation. It's like you control your character, and then someone else controls your dinosaur.
Yeah.
So that adds a little bit of unpredictability to it as well.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff in Predation. I really like it.
But I enjoy Numenera too. Like I like the setting. I like the weirdness of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the unpredictable, high technology zaniness that can occur.
Yeah. Cool.
And the rule system, it takes a little while to get used to, but once you kind of grasp the basics, it's pretty simple.
You feel like you've got a good idea of it now after the number of sessions you played?
I think so. I just know what to roll, what to spend, and that's really all you need. And then your skills and so on to add to it. And
And you come up against like the recovery rolls and the damage track and stuff on those odd occasions. I think we have another game where nobody took damage. The really interesting thing in this game is it's very hard to damage players because everybody spends the points on not getting damaged. So I find typically I do not get to damage people in the Cypher system. And that's okay. I mean, if that's what you want to spend your points on, that's correct in the game, right? That's why you have all the agency in the rolls.
I think I spent points on almost every roll that I did.
And that sounds like something that makes sense in most cases, right? I mean, you had some 6s and 7s you were just knocking down.
Yeah.
So that's great. Chris, what'd you think?
I really liked it. I really enjoyed that you could decide whether to put the effort in to increase your probability of success. And the cards with the ciphers are really fun.
Yeah, I really like that as an add-on.
And it's good that you can only have so many and the experience points, being able to give them away, it makes it a little bit more collaborative. But yeah, the cards are really fun, and it made you think like, how could I use this? Or limited. I always like things that give me limited resources and challenge me to figure out how to use them in interesting ways.
And that's the fun thing about cipher systems. You get all these ciphers and you can use them or not use them, but I think the most fun part is using them.
Yeah.
The Numenera ones are ridiculous. Like a singularity you're just going to drop in the game. Thanks, man. But I mean, like, these things are just like out of control fun.
Everything dies.
Yeah, but the other thing that I think is really cool about it is, for me, I like having the decks because if I had to roll on random tables during the middle of this game, it would significantly slow things down. This is one of those GM resources that I actually like using because I don't want to know what things there are in the treasure box, and I don't want to spend time looking it up.
Yeah.
So I really like the here's what it looks like, here's what you can get, and then pick one. And that works so well for me. But a thing that I really enjoy about the game as a GM is I am not doing anything that is random. The game has rules, they're set up. I don't have to worry that I rolled a natural 20 and you guys rolled a 15 and somehow that's better. You guys know that you have control over what things you are getting, like how you are dealing with difficulties. There's no random elements there. And I think that's really important for a game where people want to make decisions.
Yeah.
So that's me. So
I dig this system a lot. So.
I do too. I like it. I run it all the time. I may have something written for it soon that's going to come out on the magazine. We're going to
There's no fantasy version right now.
Yeah, there's totally. You can do the Cipher System rulebook. It has like 5 or 6 different core, like, here's how you would write this setting and here's some things we suggest. It has the rule set just like this, but not skinned for a particular flavor. And then additionally, they have supplementary books. And the Gods of the Fall is seriously a setting I would love to run. Like that whole, the gods are dead, the world has gone dark, someone's going to have to step up. It's a really beautifully written setting, and it's a lot of fun. I just only have so many games at a time.
Can I just say I appreciate any system that has connections.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's something that I always struggle with in D&D, especially as a DM,
Right.
is like getting the characters together. In
Yeah,
some
and it
way
tells
that
you to
makes
do it,
sense.
right? It tells the characters,
Yeah.
okay, pick somebody else at the table.
Right.
You know, and I think that's really cool. And you had, 2 different connections to choose from, right away? Because you have the one for your background or your focus, and you have the one for your descriptor. I think both have connections.
I don't know if there was a connection from Nano.
I may have made that up, but I mean...
But
in
there's
the basic
definitely,
Cypher
there
book,
is
you
the
do.
one, like my Howls at the Moon has a specific connection.
Yeah, so you get some options there, so it really lets you pick some stuff you like.
So Will and I were able to combine our connections, really.
It's cool you guys had that kind of pull backstory and
Yeah.
partnership going.
And that's just purely from,
Yeah, it's totally like a puzzle piece.
like
So
his
there was a nano connection table you could have rolled on too. So you had one from the type,
Oh,
you had one
where's-
from the focus, so there could have been a couple different places to do connections.
Where's the connections?
On page 36 of the book, for me, there's a table that says nano connections. Do you not get that in the player guide?
What's on it?
It's like a D20 roll. It's right, for me, it's right between tier 1 and tier 2.
I think that I had the background.
No, it's cool. We can talk about this off screen.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, there were potentially some other connections, and you and I will have to look at how the books might be different.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody here built their own characters, did a great job with it. I really liked running a game with you guys. Some of you I get to play with a lot. Chris, I have never gotten to really play with you like this, so it was awesome. Thanks very much. I love the level of detail you put into it. So let's see. Scooter, is there stuff we should talk about?
Numenera.
Numenera. Yeah, get in the Kickstarter if you guys are interested.
Get in
I
there.
really like it. There's a ton of stuff in there. If you like just PDFs, you can get a whole bunch of books that way. If you don't,
put
you
a
can do
link in
other
the
stuff.
chat
Yep.
for Kickstarter.
Awesome
The
stuff.
dog is returned.
And anybody got a chance to watch with us, we really appreciate it. You know, we do this because we have fun and we like gaming. If you guys have fun and like gaming and you want to follow the channel, subscribe, or you just want to drop us a link and say, hey, thanks for running the game, we really appreciate it, and some feedback would be nice. But also for you guys, hey, go out there, run your games, have fun, and make sure you make time to tabletop. And that being our tagline, I think we're pretty much going to take it easy and go do our Saturday
We'll
stuff.
see you on Tuesday.
Thank you guys very much.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Is it Tuesday yet? All that stuff.